All right, let's hit the go live, huh? Wait to get the audio check in. All right. Pop, 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 pop. Oh, shut up. Riverland Community College. I don't need advertisements for college. I went to college. All right, I'm waiting for this ad to end so I can hear if we sound good. Pop, 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 pop. Oh, shut up. All right, we sound good. How is everybody doing? How are you all? What do we got today for you? It is our weekly new player event. This one is in the EU time zone. And as some people have noted, we did start an hour after the tournament started, so I won't take you over to the bracket or you'll see some spoilers, but we do have 11 players who checked in today, one who did not. So 11 players today, and I have to take my tournament favorite. It's probably going to be Dragonborn or Frika. Dragonborn's been playing in a lot of these new player tournaments, and he gets second a lot. He's very dangerous as a player. But I don't know. Frika's got some good spice. He doesn't play in my tournaments a ton, but when he does, he performs really well. So I don't know. I could see either of them winning it. If I had to pick one, I'll go with Dragonborn. He's due. It's coming. So I'll go with Dragonborn, but dark horse would be Frika. It is a Swiss stage, so all of these players get 4 rounds to play, guaranteed, 4 best of ones. And then we'll take, depending on how the score ends up, if 2 people have perfect 4-0 scores and everyone else is not perfect 4-0, I'll just have those 2 players fight each other to determine the winner. If we have 4 people who are all kind of tied, then we'll do a quick semifinal and final bracket. Don't know. So it depends on how those scores shake out, how the post is going to go. But for now, people are in the heat of their Swiss stage, and now that you are not on that screen, I'm going to check where we are in the tournament. So we're in the middle of round 2. Round 2 still has some games to be played, but this is why I like to give the stream a delay, is we're going to cast replays from round 1 and round 2 that I'm receiving from the players right now. We'll probably catch up to them, but especially with new player tournaments, sometimes people can be a little they're not as used to finding your opponent, getting in a lobby, doing picks and bans, finding the map, making an army. So sometimes it could take longer, and that led to previously when I did all this stuff live, we would just sit around and twiddle our thumbs while players figured their shit out. And I would get a bunch of messages at the start of the stream. So this is nice where I have an hour to just answer questions from people who have literally never played in a tournament before. And about an hour into the tournament, they're usually kind of into the swing of things, so I stop getting as many questions and I can focus on streaming. But yeah, we are halfway through round 2. Got some replays here to cast from this tournament. And it should be a good time. TY, and good morning. Now, with this many signups, I cannot guarantee that I will cast every replay, but I will cast at least one replay of every player sent to me. I mean, if someone doesn't send me any replays, then obviously I can't guarantee I'm going to cast their games. But we will cast chronologically, so that anyone who sent me games in round 1, we cast every one of those, and everybody got on stream at one point. And then I'll keep casting replays until we have semifinals or finals to deal with, and then I'll prioritize casting those. Sound good? It is 1 minute from the actual start time of this, so we might as well get started. Hey, Patrick Walker, Professor Evil's here. Phoenix King, where to find maps? The bracket page of the first thing. When is Not So Human Rat playing on stream next? Let's check that real quick for you. Blah, 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 blah. I will be playing on Saturday for sure. We have a best of 7 show match between Father Ramsey and Shoxy tomorrow. Faction face-off on Friday. Thursday I'm going to visit my brother, but I might stream that day. Not sure, but I am going to visit my brother. And then Saturday we have a try-hard tournament that I'll for sure be playing in. So there's that. Patrick Walker. Hold on. Patrick Walker, hold on. I have something for you. Yeah, but just get to the games. No, this is too weird. I have to find this for Patrick. 1 second. Replays, videos. Let's go to the left-hand screen so y'all can see what I'm dealing with here. Videos, and then it was Warriors of Chaos Skaven. It swings again and misses again. Doom Knights rejoining the fight. Armor of Morkar. It's so good. God, I hate this thing, man. And +8 melee attack for bonus, I believe. Gets. So I recorded a video this morning shitting on the Hell Pit Abomination.
The Hell Pit Abomination. Let's go over to the Zinj Froster.
So that's funny that you mentioned him, because I was like, wait, I just recorded a video about how dog shit that unit is. And then you come into my chat and you're like, if someone takes him and wins, they're a Chad. Yeah, if someone takes him and wins, they're a Chad, because they're never going to fucking win a game with that piece of garbage. I just find that funny. Have you considered doing SFO multiplayer tournaments? Maybe. Before I forget, we have Shoxy versus Koala Duck here, so I don't forget the players. Shoxy versus Koala Duck for round 1 of the Swiss tournament. We are now actually going to start focusing on the games. But SFO tournament, people have asked me about that in the past. I have personally had a bad experience with modded tournaments where I'll go from because I don't have the most signups in the world. Turin does, right? If Turin hosts a tournament, he gets 60 players. So then if he hosts a modded tournament, he gets 20, it's still fine. For me, on a good day, I get 12. So then a modded tournament for me might end up being 4 players. So I think my negative experience comes from just not being big enough to overcome the funnel effect you get with mods. Because the more barriers you put between someone and a tournament, the less people sign up. And a mod usually takes you about 2/3 of the people that would sign up drop out instead. So anyway, I'm not against it. I just think I need to be bigger. For the game in front of us, Shoxy on Khorne has 4 Marauder Horsemen throwing axes, 2 Fleshhounds of Khorne, a front line of Chaos Warriors, just regular-ass Chaos Warriors, an Exalted Bloodletter, a Halberd, and Valkia the Bloody, without Spear Sleipnir. Wow, I almost never see her without her spear. On the other side, for Koala Duck, we have a bunch of Hobgoblin Wolf Raiders with spears, just 4 of them. 4 Chaos Dwarf Blunderbusses, a front line of Chaos Dwarf Warriors, a back line of Goblin Laborers. We have an on-foot Deathcaster with Spirit Leech and Fate of Yuna, and then a Skullcracker. Oh my goodness. You don't see a lot of the Skullcracker. You do see a lot of the Chaos Dwarf trains, but not the Skullcracker variant. Fleshhounds get charged by the Hobgoblin Wolf Raiders, and they're getting really good damage down. And it looks like the Marauder Horsemen of Khorne with throwing axes are going to fall back for now. Just get away from here and offer a little bit of supporting fire back over their shoulders. Now the Fleshhounds are trading well. On the charge, they got wrecked, but now they're trading better, though that demonic instability crumbling is going to be coming for them, and soon. Fleshhounds of Khorne hunting down a different Hobgoblin Wolf Raider, and the other one is getting kited out by these guys. Frontline fight has not begun just yet. We have lost the Fleshhound, though Hobgoblin Wolf Raider also dies, so actually cost-wise I think that's roughly an even trade on that end. Valkia plus the Fleshhound should be able to kill off the Hobgoblin Wolf Raiders over here, and quickly Khorne can establish some mobile dominance, which will be very nice for them. Marauder Horsemen of Khorne with throwing axes would love to come in and fire at these Chaos Dwarf Blunderbusses. Ooh, Chaos Dwarf Blunderbusses have silver shields. I actually didn't know that. Huh. I thought they were just armored. I didn't know they're armored and shielded. Skullcracker goes out and about. Currently, there's nothing around to threaten it at all, so it is just getting some free charges on Chaos Warriors, and that's good use of its time. Blunderbuss is also firing out into these guys. 110 armor and silver shields is a lot to crack through for a ranged unit, but they're doing fine. Seems like Footlorn has been common lately. Did the mount get a price increase or something? No, people have just gotten really good at surrounding and killing off single entities. Because it's been the meta for a while, so people are transferring over to foot characters to be cheaper and in some instances tankier. As this blunderbuss is killing its own Chaos Dwarf Warrior. Oh my god. Anyway, infantry are much cheaper and sometimes safer because infantry can still get knocked over and stay safe rather than surrounded by Minotaurs and killed off. Blunderbuss is ripping up Valkia, though. She doesn't have Demon Shield up right now. I don't know if it's off cooldown or something, but it doesn't seem like Shoxy noticed that those guns turned around, and their second volley on Valkia might just kill her. Demon Shield is going to keep her safe through that volley, though. That is pretty huge for her. And these other Blunderbusses have killed almost an entire Chaos Dwarf Warrior unit, but that's fine. That's okay. We accept those. Oh my god! They're still just getting their own guys! The blunderbusses have done more damage to their own front line than the enemy has. And they're still wrecking Chaos Warriors. It's just funny how much damage they're dealing along the way. I love how much they're getting pushed, too. So that, like, they're out of formation or whatever, as these lines are just staggered in. Skullcracker comes back for Valkia to peel her off. And the Chaos Dwarf Warrior front line is starting to falter. We do need, for Shoxy, we need to get all these skirmish cav that are scattered around. They need to return to the fight and get back in here, because they're going to be a big part of whether or not Khorne can win this game. Valkia is already effectively out of the game. And these blunderbusses, if they figure out how to fire, they can wreck these Marauder Horsemen of Khorne. I think they have Fire at Will on, and they're either getting the bug where they think they're still moving so that they aren't firing for some reason, or they're trying to shoot at this Chaos Warrior and they can't see it. But now they get attack orders onto the Marauder Horsemen of throwing axes. And that is going to be a terrible time to be that skirmish cav. And there they go. Dead as hell. Routing away. Exalted Bloodletters here to cleave through some Chaos Warriors. Chaos Dwarf Warriors. Dude, when one side has Chaos Warriors and the other side has Chaos Dwarf Warriors, you know you've overused a certain name of a thing. Alright, there's just too much. There's too many Chaos Warriors because there's like 5 Chaos factions that can bring them. Now there's Chaos Dwarves. There's too many things! Anyway, Chaos Dwarves are ahead on the balance of power, and I definitely agree with that as, Flesh Hounds and these Marauder Horsemen of Khorne charge into some Goblin Laborers, getting rid of them very, very quickly. And they do need to penetrate this back line. They need to shut down these blunderbusses if they're going to have any chance in this game. One of the blunderbusses is even leaving the box formation. I think they're trying to chase these guys. They probably still have standing attack orders on them. It doesn't seem like it matters too much. Khorne is getting too far behind. And the Chaos Dwarf Warriors are holding until the end of time, which is really all you need out of them as the blunderbusses continue to fire out. Skullcracker's full HP, Lord is full HP, and the blunderbusses are all still pretty healthy, so most of what the Chaos Dwarves actually care about is alive and well. Exalted Bloodletters getting charged by the Skullcracker, but they will trade back quite effectively if it sits still. Thankfully for the Chaos Dwarves, it's not sitting still, it is just burrowing straight through there. And now the Sorcerer Prophet of Death is under attack by Valkia. She is getting some decent shots in. And there is a good amount of saturation in from Chaos Warriors, regular, to stop blunderbusses from shooting her. But this blunderbuss is free and clear, so Valkia needs to get back up in the sky and get away. Another Spirit Leech hits her. If she doesn't have her Demon Shield, then she might just die from that Spirit Leech. And that would probably proc army losses with the overall leadership dip those guys would take. Flesh Hounds in, trying to stop these Chaos Dwarf blunderbusses. These other Chaos Warriors limp along. And they're probably about to get shot in the face by these guys. Yup. There they go. And the coolest gunpowder unit in the entire game. Take its first victory of the tournament. There goes army losses. Does damage value count when Valkia has Demon Shield? No, because they're dealing 0 damage. Hey, Tequila Sunset, how you doing? How you doing? Chaos Warriors of Khorne struggled to get their value back, unfortunately for them. Flesh Hounds did fine. Skirmish Cav struggled a bit, too. For Qualaduck, his Lord did fine. His Skullcracker actually did get a lot of value back, so good for it. Chaos Dwarf Blunderbusses getting a good amount of value back, and they still had plenty of ammo and plenty of health. Chaos Dwarf Warriors didn't get a lot of value, they just had to hold, and the Hobgoblin Wolf Raiders also did very nicely. So, GG. Oh, and I accidentally started with the second game I was sent, but whatever. We'll get to them. Galroch versus Mr. Chalk. I'll get you into the loading screen while I answer some stuff. I had some tournament questions I missed, but oh well. Saving some replays. We have Galroch versus Mr. Chalk loading up while I save some more replays from the very tournament we're talking about. Alright. Honestly, I've been bringing some dual weapon. Chosen of Khorne would be nice in that fight. Yeah, I love Chosen Grown dual weapons. They're risky, but in certain matchups, they can do a lot of work for you. Okay, what do we have here? For the Greenskins versus Dark Elves, we have Orc Boarboy Biggins and then some melee Spider Riders. Not a unit you see a lot. We do have some Skirmish Cav, Wolf Riders, and their ROR that has the arm piercing. We have the Rusty Errors, ROR Night Goblins with their armor sundering, Stone Trolls, a bunch of Goblin Squigs, and Wurzag. It has been a while since I have seen you, old friend. He is on foot, which does make him even more susceptible to Spirit Leech spam. Now, he has chucked out an Effigia to Git on the Sorceress of Death, who is currently sitting in front of the Rusty Arrows, so that is half HP off her. For the Dark Elves, we have the Crows of Cain, a Sorceress of Death, a Bloodrack Medusa, a bunch of Bleak Swords and Dread Spears as a front line, some Dark Shards in the back, and then a bunch of Dark Riders. And, two Bloodrack Medusas, one of which is the ROR, the Siren of Red Ruin, and the other is a regular. Cool. After their update, Bloodrack Medusas have actually been used quite a lot at high-level tournament play. I haven't seen them as much in new player tournaments, but it's good to see them here. They get decent damage down, and they're solid melee combatants. They're just overall like a good versatile unit. Crows of Cain now struck by Stone Trolls. They will take decent damage, but regenerating while in melee combat and higher ROR stats might keep them in the fight for a little bit longer to distract those Rusty Errors. Now for the Dark Elves, their Dread Spears and Bleak Swords just have to hold while the Dark Shards attempt to kill off the Squigs and Gobbos. Though some of these Dark Shards are waddling into melee combat instead of firing because they're obstructed. Orc Boarboy Biggins getting to fight Dark Riders in the distance. Those Dread Spears will need to go help out, otherwise the Orc Boarboy Biggins will kill off those cavalry units. And the Crows of Cain are already routed away. Another Spirit Leech, slowly draining Wurzag, putting him on a timer before he dies entirely. The Greenskin Cav is mostly unopposed without Cold One Knights or Cold One Dread Knights or anything of the like. Orc Boarboy Biggins can easily roll over anything in their path. We'll see what the Dark Shards can get done. I'm worried that they will not be protected as the Greenskin Cav is already coming in and these Dark Shards are starting to run forward, try and get away from the stuff behind them. But the Rusty Arrows are there waiting to catch them. And in the back, the Hammer of Gork is getting shut down right now by the Sorceress of Death, and the Crows of Cain are coming over too. But this is looking like a Greenskin dub at the moment. Ooh, there's Murderous Prowess. Maybe the extra stats can keep the Dark Elves in it for just a little bit longer. But Greenskins are usually quite favored if they can get through your front line or win the flanks in the first 3 minutes of the game. So if a game goes long, then it starts to get really risky for them. Sign of Red Ruin is out here fighting their best. Have they used their whale? Yes, they did use one of their whales already. And actually, they did do considerable damage while sitting on all these Dread Spears. They are killing a lot of Boar Cavalry. And the Crows of Cain plus the Lady of the Lake, but evil, have finished off the Hammer of Gork. So some good value trades back on the side of the Dark Elves. This Bloodrack Medusa is surrounded by buffed up Stone Trolls, but her anti-large and this Dark Shard support might be able to bail her out, but the Dark Shards change targets, abandoning the Medusa to her fate. Dark Elf's a little behind in the balance of power. I think if we can get some more Spirit Leeches onto Wurzag, maybe tank down the leadership of the Greenskins and get some of them start routing off, that could be a way back in this game, but otherwise it's just looking like the Dark Elves are taking too much damage all over the dang place. The second and final was out. This is the Greenskins' last big moment to shine. Bloodrack Medusa is still trying to fight its way to safety. And Dark Shards are not helping her, but they are firing at other stuff, like these Boarboy Biggins, other Boarboy Biggins. It's really trying to take those guys out. The Crows of Cain and the Deathcaster are both in, right next to Wurzag. Wurzag should have his second net up, I believe. No, he has no use to the effigy that gets. You can't guarantee that she'll stay on the ground, but there's Stone Trolls, Squigs nearby, and Archers even shooting at her. I think that Deathcaster is about to take a lot of damage. Another Here We Go is cast on these Stone Trolls, giving them enough melee attack to really bust through the Bloodrack Medusa, but then they turn and deal with the Dark Shards instead. What is keeping the balance of power even playable for the Dark Elves? This shit looks over. I guess we have some full health Dread Spears out and about on the flanks. Meanwhile, Supreme Sorceress of Death getting ganked by Stone Trolls and Wurzag right now. And the other Bloodrack Medusa getting poked by Goblins and Stone Trolls. She'll rout soon enough. Sign of Red Ruin getting shot by these little Morguz Meiji Marauders. And her quick Whale of Malice plus her Terror might take care of these Orc Boarboy Biggins. There we go. They get pushed off. Deathcaster's pushed off, but she will rally on the flanks. Now both sides have run out of their buffs. The Greenskins are not getting a third wall in this game. And the Dark Elves' Murderous Prowess is worn off by now. So both sides feeling a bit meh at the news. This lady is still alive. Morgan's Major Rogers only have 2 volleys left, so if she can withstand those 2 volleys, maybe dodge, or maybe they just miss enough or something, then she could come back and Spirit Leech Warzag for free. But it looks like she is going to route one more time. And from there, I don't know what the Dark Elves do. Gonna fast forward a little bit, see if things turn around suddenly. Otherwise, this is looking doomed. Stone Troll's running straight up onto the Siren of Red Ruin, who is blasting him to the best of her ability. But then they will surround her, beat her up, get shot by Dark Shards, actually take a ton of damage, and tear her out away. Okay, Siren of Red Ruin, we see you. Spirit Lich Caster is back, poking down onto Wurzag. More Stone Trolls, more Orc Boar Biggins are coming to kill off those Dark Shards. Can the Siren of Red Ruin and the Deathcaster kill Wurzag? This could be a big moment for them. It looks like she's turning. Oh, but the Stone Trolls rally right next to these guys. Somehow the Caster and the Siren of Red Ruin were not enough to keep them routing. I guess these guys both just had low enough health that the game decided the Stone Trolls were allowed to come back, which is pretty brutal. Dark Elf Sorceress is shattered or dead. I think she might actually just be flat out dead. Yes, Lord recently died. And that is the end of the Dark Elves here. Greenskid should be taking this one. Stone Trolls both did well. Wurzag honestly did fine. Orc Boar Biggins and the Spider Riders dominating the flanks was a big problem for the Dark Elves. Night Goblin Archers were also a bit of a nuisance. Frontline of Squigs and Goblins did just fine. You hate Spear Riders. Do you think you need them in this matchup? As Dark Elves, yeah, I think you need the Cold One Knights. For Mr. Chalk, I think the Siren of Red Ruin, I think, is a good call-out. 2 might be too much. We felt how narrow it was just due to those 2 big single entities. Overall, I like the build other than that, so I would just take... I'd keep the Deathcaster. I like that a lot. Keep the Siren of Red Ruin. Probably cut the regular Medusa. Liked that. Cut one of your Dark Shards, because you're probably just not going to be able to defend 4 of them in this matchup. So cut a Blood Rack, cut a Dark Shard. Keep everything else. And then spend that money. I think you can get 2 Cold One Knights with that much money. I think you can get 2 Cold One Knights with that much money. Let's take a look. Okay, so for a Dark Shard and a regular Medusa, you're 250 gold short. So I think I saw 4 Bleak Swords and 4 Dread Spears. You could cut a Bleak Sword too. So if you have that, that's 1,000. That's 2,300 gold. Okay, 2,300 gold. So if you cut all 3 of these units, you could get a Cold One, 2 Cold One Knights, and then upgrade one of your Bleak Swords to a Black Arc Corsair. Ooh, actually upgrade one of your Bleak Swords to a Witch Elf. That would be pog. That'd be huge. Yes, definitely do that. So cut a Bleak Sword, cut a Dark Shard, cut a Blood Rack Medusa, get a Witch Elf, and 2 Cold One Knights. Witch Elves are just nice little supportive units because of their rampage. You can get some pretty big moments, especially if you want them to defend your archers. Because then if a cavalry unit takes some damage on the way in, and then they try to force path through you and get the archers anyway, you can rampage them, and then they don't stop your archers, and you can pick them off. So that's really nice. I do that. Anyway. All right, round 1. Between 2 players I have not cast ever. We have Renner versus Foshtu. Receiving another replay, saved it up. Checking on the bracket to make sure no one needs me to do stuff yet. Nope, players are entering round 3, but that's fine. We got greenskins again here from Renner, but on the other side, it is now Empire. We just cast greenskins, so let's rip through them pretty quick. We have 3 Night Goblin Archers, one of which is the Rusty Errors, the ROR. We have some Squigs, some Orc Boar Boy Biggins, the Moon Howlers, Orc Boys, and Orc Biggins. And then more Zvangi Marauders, the Death Creepers, and more Pig Cav. But some Orc Biggins versus the Empire. Interesting. They do have solid stats overall, and they did get a cost decrease, so I can see why you might want to take them. We also have Azhag in the back. He is on Skull Mancha, Spirit Leech, and Fate of Buna for him, plus Foe Seeker. For the Empire, Boris Toddy up on his Griffin mount with his usual kit to lower the leadership and debuff his enemies. And then a bunch of Empire Knights, Spearmen, the Silver Bullets, some Crossmen, Triple Mortar, a Bright Wizard, and 2 Free Company Militia as well. Some great swords mixed in here and there. Okay. First thoughts on this Empire build is the mortars being all right next to each other. They do need to be a little more spread out. Oof. Really like that combined mortar fire with Burning Head. I really like that. We can see how much damage they've already done. Boris does need to be more active on the infantry front line, though, because there's nothing he can do over here. If he lands an Orc Borborbiggins, he's going to have a bad time. And oh my god, he landed an Orc Borborbiggins. All right, well, he's going to have a bad time. Free Company Militia and Crossbows trying to punish these guys over here. So far, good target selection. I'm liking that, though I'm worried the front line is about to just go to shit. 3 Greatswords can't really hold back this many Orcs. There's just too many gaps. And if the Orcs, like, if you throw one Orc boy at a Greatsword and then fuck off and send everybody else through the cracks, you can kill all these mortars. I'm a little concerned about that. Empire Knights and Spearmen clumping up on the Moon Howlers. Getting good damage, but we need these Spearmen to be in between the cracks in the front line a little bit here. Or helping out this Empire Knight. Just too many things are clustering up right now. Boris is not taking as much damage as I had feared in his fight with the Orc Boy Biggins, but also nothing is getting punished for this. It's not like we have Crossmen or Free Company Militia firing in. Azhag is currently rampaging through the backline with some squigs. We've already terror-routed off a mortar, terror-routed off another mortar, naturally routed a Crossman, and an Empire Knight is heading for the hills. Now Spearmen are closing in, and Free Company Militia firing uphill at that guy. Big Burning Head comes through, but who's it really against? As it does hurt the Squig Herd and Orc Biggin, but now it's kind of running rampant through the Empire backline. Though, in a weird way, thankfully, the Empire all routed before the Burning Head even got here, so they dodged it by running away like filthy cowards. Now the Spider Riders charging downhill and with a wall into this Free Company Militia. Being a hybrid melee unit, I still don't think they're going to be able to stand up to that level of pressure. The Greenskin Archers are in range, and they are saturating these Spearmen and Greatswords with fire, and it is looking really tough to be an Imperial on this day, in the year of our Lord 2023. Boris now starts to pick a fight with Azhag, but there just wasn't enough time for the mortars to get their value back, and there wasn't enough of a front line to protect them. Maybe 1 mortar, possibly 2. I think 3 is a bit of an overcommitment. It makes your army a little too narrow, and then you just can't defend it. Boris I liked. He was fine. Bright Wizard was fine. If you have 2 Free Company Militia and the Silver Bullets, I like that a lot, but then the Crossmen are useless. So probably cut the Crossmen, cut 1 or 2 mortars, get some more cav, get some more state troops, and just defend your backline better. Because it was going okay at the start. He got some good engagements on the flank like we saw. He was just outnumbered like 17-1. So it's you beat 1 or 2 things, and then the other 15 ignored you and went for your mortars. And that is looking like GG at this point. Don't see what the Empire can do to win from this position. As everything's routing besides Boris, army losses will be coming in soon. Boris is getting some stuff to shatter, but yeah, that's not enough. I have message requests. What's up with TBD? Okay. Hummus, how are you doing? I'm all right. I'm a little sick. Sorry if I sound a little stuffed up. Could Demigryphs have been a good option here? Maybe with a Lifecaster. You do need a little bit of healing if you want to help out the Demigryph Knights. Which faction do you think has the most cost-effective cheap light cav? Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Cost effective is the key word, because the most cheap light cav would just be greenskins, but their light cav can be really janky. Spider Riders and melee don't do as much damage as you think they would. Like, even if you give them wand stuff, they can just be kind of jank. Are you Gork fan or a Mork fan? Fists of Gork, Gaze of Mork. So I'm more of a Gork guy. Because I think he's the one that's cunningly brutal, and I like that, rather than brutally cunning. Though I do like Scar Snake, so... maybe not. Light Cav, High Elves. Illyrian Reavers are some of the best Light Cav in the game. They're not, like, OP, but they are really strong. So the short answer to your question would be High Elves or Beastmen. Centaurs are really, really, really good. They're just at a higher price point, so it depends on how you do it. But High Elves or Beastmen would be the answer to your question about the Light Cav. Young boy's sick from smoking too many people in tourneys. Nah, dude. Alright. We got more replays to cast. Frika versus Buttonized Mark. I don't know if I've gotten the pleasure of casting Buttonized Mark. We've cast some of Frika before. This is my tournament dark horse. I predicted Koala to win the whole thing, but if he doesn't, then I'm predicting Frika. Frika's very good. Usually plays some lizard men. With me as a conduit, CA recently gave Frika Tomb Kings and Vampire Coast DLCs as part of a bit of giving back to the community they were doing. So it looks like he's playing with his new fancy faction that CA gifted him. Have I said that CA gifted it enough? Have I given them enough credit for the things they did? All right, what do we have here? For the Tomb Kings, we have, looks like 4 Skeleton Horsemen, 2 Nehekara Horsemen, which is a lot of the Bone Cav, 2 Shopty Great Bows, Wonders of the Chosen Gods. We have the Eyes of the Desert, Sepulchral Stalker Regiment of Renown, and then Skeleton Warriors and Spears across the front line. Arc in the black with Spirit Legion Fate of Buna, and then the Blessed Legion of Fach, Regiment of Renowned Archers with Armor Sundering. On the other side, for Buttonized Mark and Grand Cathay, we do have Jade Warriors and Jade Warrior Halberds in the front line, triple Iron Hail Gunners, more Jade Warrior Halberds on the sides, some Peasant Archers, a Fire Rain Rocket, a Dragonblood Ashugi Lord of Yin with Talons of Night and Ancestral Warriors, and then more Archers. No Cavalry at all for Cathay here, so the 6 Cavalry of the Tomb Kings could get a lot of damage done if they can sneak in and get these Peasant Archers or the Fire Rain Rocket, or they can sit on the sidelines and wait for stuff to rout and then run it off. But I don't think that the Tomb King should ever allow anything that routes to come back. First Ancestral Warrior Summon is out, and it's used proactively to buy the Fire and Rocket some time to keep firing. It's kind of acting as another Jade Warrior to fulfill the box. And I can kind of see why. The Fire and Rocket's on a timer anyway if the Chosen of the Gods get in range, so might as well just let it get a couple volleys out. Chuck this before it gets knocked down. Because you could use it to try and trap some 400 gold horsemen, but who cares? You might as well just buy the time you need, because you can see the Chosen of the Gods are shutting this shit down. They've said this party is over in 3 or 4 volleys. The Fire and Rocket's just doing what it can up until that point. Iron Hail Gunners firing uphill through the cracks at some of these Skeleton Warriors. And the Sepulchral Stalkers are hitting the Dragonblade Ashugi Lord of Yin. And what is that? That is a Blossom Wind. I didn't even register she had that spell. Go, Blossom Wind, go! It tickles some of the Skeleton Spearmen, lowering their stats, curving back in to hit these other Skeleton Spearmen, and a beautiful Blossom Wind, which is not a sentence I am used to saying in any capacity. But the Chosen of the Gods, now firing at the Dragonblood Ashugi Lord of Yin. She's not a great target. She's on foot. Actually, wait, she's on horseback. Okay, that's slightly better, but it's still not great. These guys need to be killing the Iron Hail Gunners and the Archers. And regular Shopty, the Sepulchral Stalkers, can shoot at her, but the spread shot doesn't do nearly as much damage. However, mass rout in from the forces of Cathay, and like we said earlier, if these Skeleton and Nehekara Horsemen can just back off, let the Cathay units rout, get outside the box, and then chase them off, that is probably the most effective way to handle this. A lot of Cathay's carry threat is routing right now. They only have 1 Iron Hail Gunner that's not routing. The rest is relying on these Jade Warrior Halberds and Jade Warrior Regulars to hold down the fort. Their Yin Lord is shut down. Blessed Legion of Flach firing out of the trees, Chosen the Gods, killing off some stuff. They probably want to turn their attentions onto either the Jade Warriors with Halberds or, oh, Celestial Dragon Guard. I didn't realize there was Celestial Dragon Guard. There's 2 of them. Oh my god. Okay, yeah, shoot them. Shoot them for sure. Fuck. Who cares about the Iron Hail Gunner? Just throw some random skeletons on it. No one gives a shit. The Celestial Dragon Guard gotta die. I guess you still have the Blessed Legion of Flach. You still have the Eyes of the Desert, so that's fine. Yeah, that's big damage coming in from those guys. But Celestial Dragon Guard and the Jade Warrior Halberds could kill literally everything in this Tomb King's army in melee, so you're going to have to kill him at range. Meanwhile, Arkan is not having a good time. Oh, he's in the middle of Celestial Dragon Guard. That's what's happening to him. He did throw down a Skeleton Warrior summon to save himself, but there's still plenty of those Celestial Dragon models in contact with him, so Arkan has to be very careful here. If he dies, that could be a reversal. Currently, the Tomb Kings are up. They're feeling good, but, like, if Arkan dies, all this crumbling is going to happen even faster. You lose your magic, you lose your summons, and this Ushabti is about to fade away, so that bounce of power is a little artificially inflated. Chef's Kiss, I love you now? Who, Shiggy Diggy? Oh, you're talking about Button Eyes Mark for the Blossom Wind. I see. Jade Warrior Halberd's getting low. We still have 1 full health Celestial Dragon Guard, but the Yin caster is just about off the map, and when she goes, some of these Jade Warriors might also get routing. Arkan is continuing to get lower. He's down to 1,400 HP, and we know since the Ushabti summon came out that there's no more passive healing for him. The final Spirit Leech does take out the Celestial Dragon Guard, and Arkan will survive at 1,300 HP, and now I don't think there's any chance he wanders into melee and just dies or anything. Friko will probably keep him safe. And hell, even this Celestial Dragon Guard at full HP is almost routing, just due to the stacking debuffs of, like, nearby allies routing, Lord recently fled, losing melee combat, shit like that. Looks like Cathay will breathe no longer. Oh, hey, some peasant archers are back. I'm trying to save the Celestial Dragon Guard. For the Forces of Grand Cathay, we still have a lot of ammo on the regular Ushabti, a lot of ammo on the Blessed Legion of Flach, and a lot of ammo on the Sparkle Stalkers. So they can kite this out from this point. If they keep all of Cathay's range shut down, then they'll have no problem finishing this game out. Spirit Leech onto Jade Warriors. Ooh, Celestial Dragon Guard might be allowed to come back, though. That could be a mistake from Frika. Don't know if it matters. Arkan has Fate of Buna. I wonder if he should save up for Fate of Buna for this last healthy Celestial Dragon Guard. I'm going to fast forward. We'll see if things turn around. Another Spirit Leech. Oh, and a nasty volley from the Sparkle Stalkers. That'll probably trigger army losses. Yeah. Damn. GG. GG. Saved a replay quick. Okay. I need to check on something real quick, everybody. All right, players are entering the final round of games now. Players are entering the final round of games now, so I might have to do some score stuff. Chosen the Gods did well. Regular Ushabti did fine. Sparkle Stalkers did fine. Arkan did great. Blessed Legion of Flach did fine. And then Skeleton Horseman and the Nekara Horseman did pretty good. Like I said, when anything routed, they just stopped from coming back, which was great. For Button Eyes Mark, I liked his spell usage a lot, but his Lord got shut down very quickly. Wait, the Righteous Lancers of Wei Jin existed? I literally missed them the entire game. What did they do? Where were they? Did they dive this other Ushabti somewhere that I didn't see? Well, something terrible happened to them. Fire and Rocket got shut down by the Chosen of the Gods. The Celestial Dragon Guard fought their best. One of them got a ton of value, one did not. Jade Warrior Halberds held, Jade Warriors held. And then the Iron Hail Gunners tried, but didn't get a lot of value. Same with the Peasant Longbowmen. What? Where the hell was this unit? If they have Vanguard, maybe I missed them, like being Vanguard deployed and they dove onto Ushabti Great Bows right away or something. That's crazy that I missed an entire unit like that. All right, round 1. So we have Anthrax versus Professor Evil. And then Lazy Fron versus Chalk Crow. And then I'll have covered everybody in the tournament at least once. So we'll do that. So this is the last replay from round 1. And then someone got a bye round. It was Lazy Fron. So I'll cast his game from round 2 first to make sure we hit everybody at least once. This is Professor Evil versus Anthrax. Having 0 mobility is a mistake. Yeah, you might want Jade Lancer's Tequila Sunset, but there are a lot of people who didn't buy Shadows of Change, so you might not have Croman. Alright, what do we got? What do we got? I have a lot of messages. Okay. For Bretonnia, we have Knights of the Realm in the Woods, 2 of them fighting some dogs already in this game. 1 Hippogriff Knight, a Grail Knight, Henry Le Massif. I'm going to put this on slow motion because so much shit's happening already. Fey Enchantress on foot with Regrowth and Earthblood. Then we have 4 Peasant Bowmen, some with Pox arrows, some with Fire arrows, some without any special arrows. And then a Men-at-Arms Peasant Mob spammed frontline. On the other side, we have Chaos Warhounds to run down some of those archers. Marauder Horsemen, not with throwing axes, so non-armor-piercing missiles. Chaos Warriors of Nurgle for enhanced melee defense and poison. And then Marauders, Chaos Warriors of Tzeentch with Halberd, Eocold Hellbrass, Valkia the Bloody up on... I mean, she doesn't have a mouth. Just up on her own. Whatever. The Chaos Sorcerer of Slaanesh, and then the Aspired Claw... the Severed Claw, Aspiring Champions RR. Now, before any of you pointed out, yes, this is too many marked units. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And you're supposed to only have 4. Shit happens. It's a new player tournament. Just so you know, shit happens. I have acknowledged that it exists. We'll see if it even matters. If Bretonnia wins, then it didn't matter. Chaos Warhounds getting pushed around. And Warriors of Chaos do need to be moving up. Not a rules thing. They just need to be moving up advantage-wise. Because Bretonnia wants this game to last longer so they can heal more. And they want this game to last longer so they can cycle charge more. You have to press the advantage. You have a way better melee core with all these guys, so you want to be grinding through these peasants and really pressuring Bretonnia to do stuff. Grail Knights will catch some Marauder Horsemen napping briefly. Then they start to run away as other Marauder Horsemen fire in. And the Royal Hippogriff Knights plus Henry Le Massif catch Valkia the Bloody in the sky. Her Demon Shield kept her safe until now, but she needs to land where the Severed Claw, Eocold, and some of these other guys can help her out. But it looks like the Warriors of Chaos players, Micro is getting taxed too much, as now some Tzeentch Halberds are trying to catch up with these Grail Knights. Other Marauder Horsemen are wandering into Peasant Bowman fire. Valkia did land, so that's good. But it just seems like a lot's going on, and they might be overwhelmed. Knights of the Realm still trying to chase down dogs as Grail Knights get a rear charge onto Marauders. Almost going to rout them on the charge. And Hippogriff Knights and Alberic are just... Not Alberic. Henry. They're just getting away. On the other side, we have some sneaky dogs. While Bretonnia is doing all of this micro over here and stuff, I don't think they see the dogs coming in hot. Those dogs will feast on a free Peasant Bowman. Yum, 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 yum. There's finally something going Chaos's way. Knights of the Realm still chasing off Skirmish Cav and dogs. Other Knights of the Realm charging down into these Chaos Warriors and Nurgle. Those are actually Grail Knights that were doing that chasing. These are the Knights of the Realm here. With Hippogriff Knights piling on to the Marauder Horsemen are taken out. The Fey Enchantress starts to waddle over and scare the dogs away. Professor Evil, I forget which side you are, but shit happens, dude. Shit happens. People learn fast. Knights of the Realm charging into Marauders. Though Pavane of Slaanesh might get them to rampage back into those Marauders, and Valkia is even diving on top of them to get a little bit more poke damage. Though with Hippogriff Knights nearby, she wants to be a little bit more careful. The Severed Claw and Eocold could support her if she gets into actual trouble, though. Chaos Warriors still getting run over by Cav here and there, so they do need to just get to the front line and kill off all these peasants to feel a little bit better about what's going on. Because without any heavy cav or monsters of your own or anything, it's not like you're going to win in melee versus these cav on open field. You kind of have to force them to deal with you. Chaos Sorcerer of Slaanesh getting attacked by the Hippogriff Knights and Henry. I keep wanting to say Alberic. Terror Out's coming in hot. No, wait, it's a Slaanesh guy. He's ITP. He's chilling. Valkia is in. Something is getting cast. It looks like the little bound Doombolt from the Slaanesh caster. And then another Pavane of Slaanesh? Yeah, that Rampage could be nice, especially if it goes back on the Severed Claw, but it looks like they're not going to do that. Chaos still getting run around the map, and the rest of the Bretonnian army is super happy to just sit this one out. They don't feel like participating in this at all. They just want to cycle charge with their strong-ass knights. This was your first game as Warriors of Chaos, Professor Evil? Understood. Alright. I am liking Valkia's Demon Shield play so far. She's been pretty good about taking a fight with the Demon Shield and then running away. It's not all negative on the side of Chaos. Knights of the Realm are getting slowly attritioned. Grail Knights are just slamming through Chaos. Even Chaos Warriors of Nurgle, they're pushing around like it's nothing. Oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah, it shows how strong Brett is. They only need 5 units to beat your army. Dude, I hate Brett right now. I used to like Brett in concept, but then their rework like busted up Grail Knights and Hippogriff Knights and stuff, and now they're just ass. Like, this is literally... his dogs got onto the archers again. I fucking love it. Anyway, yeah. Or you just, like, try and spam healing and crazy knights to try and boot them up. But I fucking love these dogs. They keep just slipping back in here like, let's eat some peasant bowman before anybody notices. They get one. Oh, that's great. That's awesome. Alright, I'm going to cast this at ×2 speed until something else happens. Dogs sweep up those archers, then they path through the Fan Enchantress again on the peasant bowman. Meanwhile, Knights continue to cycle charge. Marauders get a bit of a trade onto them, getting good damage on the Knights of the Realm. And Henry even comes back to get those dogs off of the archers. Severed Claw, Valkia, and Aecold moving up. Boop. Little Doombolt poke. Valkia needs to land soon, otherwise she's going to be in big trouble. More dogs snuck up onto those peasant archers. It's Professor Evil getting some free archer value. Ooh, and there's a big rampage! Those are Grail Knights, and they're getting fucked up. And they're still in lance formation, so they lose 8 melee defense. Yeah, that's what Chaos needed. They just, like, killed an entire Grail Knight unit with that. And Aecold is going to go solo the whole Bretonnian army, and you might think I'm being shitty when I say that, but no, he could actually kill every single unit over there besides... Actually, yeah, he could kill the Fae, too. And that's a huge turning point for Chaos in this game. The game started slow, because Chaos didn't advance to fight the front line for a bit, so they just farted around with Bretonnian units. Like, shit happens, but... They're back in it. Deleting a Grail Knight like that is brutal. Yeah. Alright, the Severed Claw trying to fight more Knights of the Realm. But Bretonnia has lost a Knight of the Realm way over there. A Grail Knight will come back, and maybe it'll even get a regrowth. But there are 18 out of 48 models. That's their maximum they can possibly get. Another bound Doombolt of Slash hitting the Fae Enchantress, but she has ward save and spell resistance, which can be really hard for that kind of stuff to get damage onto her. Sorcerer of Slaanesh under attack once again by this Goon Squad. They're trying to take out the caster. They do not ever want to get Pavane of Slaanesh again, and I can understand that. They are doing good damage, but his ITP should save him. Chaos Warriors of Nurgle are getting shreked down by the Royal Hippogriff Knights right now, and that is another Pavane getting cast. Can it rampage? Ooh, can it rampage these guys into the Severed Claw? That would be insanely valuable for the Forces of Chaos. They're getting them low. Pavane's still proccing for now, but they will get away. The Severed Claw not able to do enough damage, and they immediately have attack orders onto Valkia in the backline, who is trying to snipe out the Fae Enchantress. Now the Warriors of Chaos, despite being diminished from all of this cycle charging, are still getting through that Bretonnian front line, because it is just peasants. It is only peasants today. Demon Shield is up for Valkia. She knew she was about to get dove on, but can she even escape as she is... Yes, she is going to slip between those Hippogriff Knights and get back up into the sky. If she can stay alive, then Warriors of Chaos still have a chance here. Knights of the Realm getting very low. Grail Knights getting very low. And this Chaos Sorcerer of Slaanesh is wandering away. I hope he just saves up for more Pavanes. Pavanes are the most important thing you can get all game. But Valkia will get sniped out at this point. I don't think she can escape from these Hippogriff Knights for too much longer, and dogs are sweeping up archers on the backfield. A regrowth is coming in for someone. It is Henry. I was hoping it was maybe for Valkia, but nope, Fae Enchantress not feeling that merciful. And the Slaanesh caster is actually going to go run her down. Go, Slaanesh caster, go. You're doing your best, man. You're living your best life. As a bound Chalice of Potions is going to hit these Chaos Warriors of Nurgle and Marauders. And the Severed Claw, though, really won't damage them too much. And that arcs away a little bit, so even the Fey Enchantress maybe starting to favor the Chaos Gods. But Valkia is gone, and that'll spike Chaos's leadership pretty darn low. I wonder how much it'll matter. Chaos Sorcerer of Slaanesh really wants to get a nice Pavane onto these Royal Hippogriff Knights, get them to rampage down to the Severed Claw. That is probably their only hope of winning this game. But a nice Lash of Slaanesh will kill off some peasant mobs and stuff. I mean, kills are kills, I suppose. And it does proc the healing of this little Slaanesh caster. Soul Feeder keeps him nice and healthy. Oh, this could be a disaster maybe for Bretonnia. Severed Claw right here as the Hippogriff Knights come sailing in, and there's Halberds nearby. This is the best chance Chaos has to kill these fucking Hippogriff Knights. Half HP off of them already. They take so much damage if they accidentally waddle into some Halberds. I'm getting a lot of messages. I'm just going to make sure it's not important. Alright, sorry. I was just making sure this wasn't like, yo, something's broke with the tournament or something. Okay. So we're back at it. Bounce power is still Bretonnia favored, but not gone quite yet. Eocold has carried a lot of games in his time when it gets down to just him versus a bunch of melee infantry. We still have some decent halberds. For Bretonnia, all of their balance of power is in these Hippogriff Knights. The Grail Knights had not received any healing for quite a while. And the Slaanesh caster is once again beset by foes. -4 leadership pops up to 13. Can he get one more Pavane off? Does not look like it, as Grail Knights are going to pile in and rout him officially. So without any magic, it is just down to the Severed Claw and Eocold. And I don't think they can do it, but I will play it at ×2 speed to find out. As everything over here routs, Bretonnia is not going to let it come back. So we are just in the bump and grind phase. Bump and grind. Bump, bump, and grind. Hey, Lime Sauce. Bump and grind. Bump, bump, and grind. Bump, 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 bump. Bump, 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 bump. Everything's getting chased off, and Eocold is fighting back against the Knights of the Realm. Yeah, yeah. Severed Claw's gonna fight along with him. They are taking some serious damage. Bump, 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 bump. Another regrowth because it's cool. Bump, bump, bump. Healing meta's everyone's favorite. Ba-da-ba-bum. Still fighting out with the Severed Claw. Bum, bum, bum. And that's army losses. Rough start, but really turned it around. Really turned it around there for Professor Evil. Just decided to stop fucking around with all the cav and got into the melee. Did some solid damage, killed a ton of peasants. And that one rampage on the Grail Knights, just massacring them, was huge. On the other side, though, for Anthrax, different name in Steam, but on Discord, they're Anthrax. Really good damage value on both the Grail Knights and the Hippogriff Knights. And their micro was pretty on point. Their engagement selection was strong. So as much as I bemoan like healing meta and Bretonnia and stuff, like he did a good job. He did a real good job. He played great. For Professor Evil, Valkia did awesome. Good demon shield cycling. Slaanesh caster was innovative and good. Halberds, Severed Claw did fine. Chaos Warriors at Nurgle struggled a bit. Skirmish Cav and Dogs. I mean, the Dogs ended up doing great. They had a rough start because of the Knights, but they just kept sneaking in there and killing off the Peasant Archers, which was fucking hilarious. Oh, I loved it. Okay. And then the next game I have to cast, so everybody got at least one cast in, is Lazy Frond, because they got a bye round in round 1. But I might have to do some tournament stuff quick here. Okay. Yeah, I have to do some tournament stuff. So we're getting close to our finals. Come with me. At the rate this is going, players are really slamming through their games, which is great. No problem with that. But we probably won't cast every replay from the Swiss stage. But we are getting close to the point where I actually have to make a bracket. So let me do the scores quick here. So Shoxy 0, Dragonborn 1, Eye-Runner 1, Lazy is 0.5, I already documented that, Durthu 1, Anthrax 1, Freaka 1. Okay, round 2, Dragonborn 1. Oh, but that one's incorrect. Galroch won that one. Okay. They told me about that. 1, so that one's fixed now. And Foch 2 got 1. Oh, hey. In the second game, Foch2 got his revenge. Nice. Okay, then Lazy got 1. Anthrax got another 1. And Shoxy got 1. Cool. Round 3. Foch got 1. Dragonborn got 1. Dirthu got another 1. Lazy got 1. Chakro got 1. And then the final round, we know Chakro got 1. We know Foge got 1. I'm going to put zeros here for my brain. So equals some... Boop. All right, how we looking? So done, 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 done. Get bigger. Get bigger. These are done. Okay. Whoa, what was that? How did that happen? Okay, don't do that ever again. Okay, no other games have been reported for now. So where are we sitting? Professor Evil is eliminated from being in the finals thing, right? Because at 0 points, there's no shot that he makes top blank or whatever. So eliminated. Frika might be eliminated. Yeah, 1.5 probably not going to make it. So Frika might be out. Shoxy, I don't know if 2 is going to get in because we already have a 3. We have 2 2.5s. And who's Shoxy fighting? Renner. So if Renner beats Shoxy, that's another 2.5s. Then Shoxy would be out for sure. If Shoxy wins, they get a 2. Button Eyes Mark and Dirthu. I mean, if Dirthu wins, he gets a perfect 4. If Button Eyes Mark wins, he would get his first point. So let's see. Best case scenario for Shoxy is they end up at 2, and then we have a 3, a 2.5, a 2.5, and a 3. So yeah, Shoxy's out, no matter how the last game goes. Dragonborn is fighting Lazy. If Dragonborn beats Lazy, they're still in the post. So, okay. So there's a couple things to still be decided. 3 is a guaranteed in, so I'm going to change that to green. 2.5, I don't know yet. 2, I don't know yet. We'll see how things pan out. But if your name is in red, I appreciate your games today. I'll cast as many of them as I can here, but no guarantees. Lazy Fron did defeat Dragonborn, so Dragonborn ends at a 2, and Lazy gets a 3.5. What the fuck? Okay, I'm surprised. I'm surprised. So Lazy's in. Dragon is out with that kind of score. Oh. Nuts. And Lazy also had a perfect run, except they had a bye round 1. That's kind of insane. Lit. Okay. Cool. So now where does that leave us? There's only one game left to be played. It's Renner and Shoxy. Because Button Eyes Mark is stuck at 1.5, so they're out. And Shoxy's out. We know Dirthu's in with 3. So we have 3, 3.5, and a 3 or a 4. Anthrax is a 2.5. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Because no matter what... Wait. Yeah, Chalk is out then, because we already have a 2.5 too. Sorry, Chalk. 2 and 2 on the day is not bad, though. But, alright, so this will be our top. And who's playing right now? Renner and Shoxy. Okay. Did any of these players just play? Foge and Frika, Lazy and Dragonborn, and then Dirthu and someone else. Dirthu and Mark. Okay. So we'll do this. Let's do Foge and... Oh, I don't know if Dirthu has a perfect series yet. Because then he should get Anthrax if he gets a perfect series. seating-wise? Because Anthrax has the least points. I don't know yet. 3.5 is pretty good. Whatever. In the interest of players not waiting on us, let's do Durthu. Oh, wait. Anthrax had a bye round, so he's tired of waiting. Let's do Lazy. Lazy did have a perfect run with a bye round that he couldn't control. Lazy, Anthrax, and then Durthu. Fudge. Lovely. Didn't Durthu lose round 2? That result was misreported. That result was misreported. Okay, so Lazy and Anthrax, please fight best of 1 for semi-final. Durthu. Oh, he changed his name. It's Galraj. And Fudge, please fight for semi-final BO1. Winner of each will play finals. Send me replays. Thank you. Okay, scheduling stuff is done. I had to keep my eye on that to see when people are finishing up the tournaments. They aren't just waiting around on me. Some of them might want to go to bed or get back to work or something. So we'll see how Renner and Shoxy turns out, but I don't... Yeah, we just did the math. It didn't matter. Right? Am I being stupid? Renner loss, Renner win, Renner half. So yeah, the best they would do is a 2.5. Wait, am I being stupid? I thought I just did the math correctly. God, now I'm paranoid. Oh, Renner could have gotten a 2.5. Well, fuck! Alright, for my sake, I hope Renner loses. Not to be an asshole, but I don't want to go back and remake the bracket. Shit. Alright, what were we casting? We were casting Lazy Frond and Chakra. Lazy Frond is the only one that's not been cast yet. So let's get back into that, huh? Maths is hard. Okay. If Renner wins, I'll slot them in after the winner of Anthrax versus Lazy. The winner will fight Renner. Okay. Quick maths. Tried too much wacky stuff. That's okay, Freakin' Man. It's a new player tournament. Just live your best life. Oh my god, what are we looking at? What is this nonsense? Okay, so for Empire versus Lizardman, we have Krokgar on a horned one. Or is, yeah, okay, it's a horned one. Then we have the Paku Paku Hort, Feral Cold Ones and Coldwind Riders, horned ones, more Feral Cold Ones and Coldwind Riders, more horned ones, 2 Ripperdactyl Riders, and a Skink Priest of Heavens with only Comet. Whoa, what the fuck? Okay, that's cool, that's cool. And then aside for the Empire, we have Demigryph Knights, Empire Knights, and more Demigryph Knights, the Sunmaker, Great Swords and Handgunners, and then a front line of Swordsmen. I'm sure upon seeing this build, the Empire's like, can we remake and can I change my front line to Spearmen so this doesn't fucking happen to me? We also have Gelt in the Sky with Final Transmutation and Searing Doom. And a very wild Lizardman build, but I think it's probably going to work out because there's no spears here. And the Demigryph Knights aren't even halberds. For sure, the Empire player started the game was like, what the actual fuck am I looking at? As he's just getting run down. Oh, that's funny. Krokgar, do you have Hands of the Gods? Because you can do a lot of damage. No, he doesn't. That is a butt-naked Krokgar. What the hell? Okay, well, no Hand of the Gods means Gelt gets to live another day. And cool. Sunmaker's firing it onto Feral Cold Ones, Coldwind Riders as well. It's kind of messed up, the Coldwind Riders. But I suppose they don't really care. Sunmaker does do better damage versus infantry. Still good versus cav, but... Handgunners finish them off real quick, and a Comet of Castador is getting cast on Sunmaker. Unfortunately, I don't think that's a great target. It does decent damage, but all 4 models are still going to be up, so its DPS is the exact same. Chalk-Crow, I did think a little bit of that. Yeah? Alright, at least I wasn't completely off base. Krokgar is going in alone versus these Demigryph Knights. Now, that could be bad for him, but we do have the Pak cohort backing him up, charging in. Guns ablazing, metaphorically. But a nice predictive Searing Doom here. Really like that from Gelt. Should get a ton of damage onto that Pak cohort. And there it is. Beautiful cast. And it was predictive. Oh, you love to see it. So that is a great trade for the Empire. But the Sunmaker is shut down by Ripperdactyl diving in. Other Ripperdactyls are all over these handgunners. And Demigryph Knights are going to try and hold the gates with some great sword support. They should overall do fine in this trade versus the Feral Cold Ones and the Hornsmen, though they're surprisingly taking a ton of damage on the charge, which is strange. But anyway, with infantry support, they should be fine. But, like, there's just so much cav that the Empire is not ready to deal with. Horned Ones are streaming in through the front line. Feral Cold Ones and Ripperdactyls are streaming into, just disrupting all these handgunners. All the shooting the Empire is shut down, and another Searing Doom is going to kill off the Pak cohort, probably even rout them outright. So really good cast from Gelt, and I do like the engagements the Empire's taking. They're just woefully unprepared for the build they're currently fighting. Comet of Castador getting cast from the Heavens Skink onto this pile of greatswords. If it hits center of mass and doesn't drift either way, it will get a ton of damage. But it does drift, still getting a ton of damage, but a little extra friendly fire that apparently those Feral Cold Ones are not a part of the great plan. Demigryph Knights killed off by double Horned Ones. Another Horned One joined this fight while we were casting elsewhere. And those guys are dead. Those guys are doomed as hell. Ripperdactyl still healthy and alive. Going to try and chase Baltzar Gelt, who is currently walking off the Pak cohort. And Krokgar is helping some Cold One Riders kill these Empire Knights. But it is a brutal time to be an Imperial in this day and age. Great swords, getting their money's worth. Putting the slap down on some of this cav that's been sitting right next to them. Lizmen will regret that a little bit, but I wonder if this game is too far gone that even just sitting cav next to great swords is not nearly enough to take him out of this game. As Chalk desperately fights back. Really good Final Transmutation Overcast on the Skink Priest of Heavens and the Ripperdactyl Rider that is, like, traveling right next to them. That's really good Final Trans for how this is going. I mean, it's not like there's a really big blob you could punish. Maybe, like, right here, but Gelt's obviously not in range for that cast, so it's the best cast you could get at the time. Handgunners are rallying elsewhere, and these Cold Ones are rampaging, so they can't be retargeted onto the Handgunners. The Handgunners get some free damage out there they otherwise wouldn't be expecting. Gelt is nice and safe. State troops are continuing to bump and grind with these Horned Ones. And the Empire is making a decent case for themselves. These handgunners that have rallied do need to turn and fire, though, because Horned Ones are coming straight at them. It doesn't look like they're aware of the danger just yet. They haven't been rallied to the cause. And they might get some fire-at-will shots onto the Horned Ones, but it's not going to be nearly as good as, like, a concentrated volley with orders given. So Velociraptors pound into the handgunners. And they're doomed. You need 400 models? Oh, it's 390. Oh, he barely missed the models. Yeah, Chakra pointing it out. I don't know if Chakra knew in the game, though. It's super close, but you need 400 models at least. But you don't necessarily need infantry. It'd be like if a Horned One was cut and turned into 2 Cold Ones, then like that would hit the model limit. I'm going to fast forward a little bit as the Empire is regrouping, but that probably means they're just going to get cycle charged to death at this point. All of their range is shut down. And Gelt is artificially inflating the balance of power, so we can see a mass rout in here for the Empire. Gelt has to land, and he will get eaten alive from this point on. Really nice Searing Doom from him, maybe even as a final trans in the tank, and there it is. But it won't be enough to save him from Krokgar. It just won't. You told him it was fine? How dare you! Really good Searing Dooms from Gelt. I'm so curious about his value. 2,800 value on Gelt! Oh my god! That's really good. Oh, I love it. I love it. Alright, Renner did win. So now I have to correct my boo-boo. Renner fight the winner of Lazy and Anthrax. Because you tied Anthrax for 4th/5th, so you should have been in the semifinal conversation, and I just didn't do the math right on you. So you get a bye round due to poor math. All right, 4 Lazy and his Cav Rush. 1 Ripperdactyl getting 2,000 value, the other one did fine. Cold Ones and Feral Cold Ones are going to be mixed. Horned Ones overall doing quite well. And then the Heavens Caster getting 1,400 value on just a Comet Caster is actually really good. For Mr. Chalk, great Balthazar Gelt play. Sunmaker still getting 1,000 value despite his short time on this Earth. Demigryph Knights got massacred. Great Swords, mixed value, one of them doing quite well. Handgunners, unfortunately, didn't have enough time to sit and shoot. The Swordsman did okay. But a very spooky game. So we've cast everybody in the tournament at least once. I will now just start going through replays in the order I got them until we have semifinals or finals matchups to cast. But for now, we're chilling. So from 11, we got down to 5. Renner and Anthrax tied for 4th and 5th. Lazy Frond and Galraj tied for 1st if you count the fact that Lazy Frond got a bye round that they didn't have an option to. So 3.5 to 4 is 2 perfect runs pretty much. And Foj 2 with a nice 3, so right in the middle. So we have a tie for 1st, a tie for 4th, 5th, and Foj 2 just chilling in 3rd. What's the Pak cohorts gimmick? They're ITP and they have Vanguard, right? Okay, Greenskins versus Beastmen. I know Koala's in this replay, but I honestly don't know which one he is, because... Actually, yeah, he's probably the Beastman. Because he doesn't play Greenskins too much, but Koala plays factions like this. Anyway, for the Greenskins of someone, I think it's Galraj, 5 Goblins, Orc Biggins, Spider Riders, Squigs, triple Black Orcs, Skarsnik, and a River Troll Hag. Okay, that's a little bit of spice. 2 Savage Orc R boys as well. Okay, alright, okay. On the other side for the Beastmen, Ungor Spearman herds, regular Ungor herds, as many of them as you can grab. They did get a cost reduction this last patch, so they're a little more cost effective. 4 Ungor Raiders, and then a shit ton of Angry Cows. Looks like 5 Minotaurs overall, including the Butchers of Calgard, and we do have a Deathcaster with just Spirit Leech starting on Skarsnik. Pretty straightforward build from the Beastmen. Minotaurs, Archers, Chaff. And the Goblins are feeling it already, routing away from the Butchers of Kalkengard and the other Minotaurs' brutal charge. And these Minos are just puppy guarding right now. They're sitting on the flanks, daring these Spider Riders and Orc Biggins to get involved. They're like, come on, come on, come on, see what happens. Gaul is Greenskins, gotcha. Black Orcs with a Wah popped are currently fighting Ungor Spearman herds, and they will chew through those guys pretty easily. And the Great Bray Shaman of Death, oh no! Fermented Fungi from Skarsnik is rampaging him right now into Black Orcs and into Archer Fire. And that rampage needs to wear off soon. Butchers of Calgard trying to play bodyguard a little bit here, and they do slam through some Black Orcs, getting good impact damage, but they're trying to bail out their Great Bray Shaman of Death. Meanwhile, Galraj does have 2 Greenskin Cavs sitting in the backfield that need to be swooping in for these archers, but looks like his micro is elsewhere, trying to punish probably that Skarsnik route. And a lot of his Cav is sitting idle while the archers continue to fire in, get free value on the Greenskins. The Greenskins' primary front line of the Goblins and Squigs are all routing. They're all out of here. It's a secondary front line of Black Orcs, all that remain now. 2 of them are healthy, and 1 is just about dead and routing. But the Butchers of Kalkengard have paid a terrible price for this victory, as 2 different archers are hitting them, including an Armor Sundering Archer, plus Skarsnik. And Skarsnik probably gave these guys his bonus versus large for a brief period there. So, really sucked to be the Butchers of Kalkengard. 4 other Minotaurs are very healthy, though, and now that they left the back line, now Galraj's Cav comes sweeping in. They want to shut down these archers, but the Minos are back to play, and Galraj immediately pulls his Cav away from those guys. That is a smart move. The other Cav should be fine and uncontested. Black Orcs still fighting back against these Minos' great weapons, while the other ones and some Ungor Spearman herds shut down the Greenskin archers in the backfield. These Black Orcs that were almost routing a second ago are still almost routing, but they've fought this whole time to try and stay in it. Butchers are routing off. They do have regeneration. With only 5 models left, they'll be back. They'll be fine. And oh no, what happened back here? A bit of a whoopsie as the Great Bray Shaman of Death gets abandoned by his Minotaurs. Looks like those units decided they couldn't catch the Greenskin Cab and went to do other things, but the Great Bray Shaman didn't get the memo and does get left alone as the Orc Boar Boy Biggins surround him and start beating him to death. The Minotaurs realize that their Lord and Master was left behind and start to come back now, but will they even be in time, I wonder? Archer's still getting a ton of fire off, and this is, I was talking earlier, somebody asked about the Light Cavalry effectiveness. Dude, this is Spider Riders in a nutshell. They got a rear charge, and they've been fighting for free against fucking Ungor Raiders, like one of the saddest archers in the game, melee-wise, right? Ungor Raiders are a good unit, but not for their melee stats. It takes them so long to kill anything. Anyway. So Spider Riders nibbling away on the Ungor Raiders, barely doing any damage, and they just get charged by Minotaurs. But these other Minotaurs actually bail out the Great Bray Shaman of Death, so he should be able to come back just fine. His leadership's already positive, and good play there, bailing him out of a bad situation. Something is happening here. It's a Fate of Buna onto an already wounded Minotaur. That should finish him off outright, but the Spider Riders are pushed away. For the Greenskins, we still have one healthy Black Orc, another half-health Black Orc. The Rusty Arrows are still technically online, still technically alive, the best form of alive. And then Skarsnik and the River Troll Hag. The Beastmen have a lot of dangerous units left, though. They have 2 full health Minos. I feel like I'm missing one. Oh, there's one way over there that's almost dead, and it's getting picked off by Orc Boar Boy Biggins. They still have some archers who can kite away from these Black Orcs. They still have some chaff lingering in the bushes around here. And they have their Spirit Leech Caster, if they can keep them safe, though. Actually, ooh, with the River Troll Hag on the counter, you're probably just going to get Spirit Leech to death, too. Yeah. Beastmen are about to lose their caster, for sure. Okay, I don't know who's favored anymore. Minos can do a lot of work. You might be like, oh, well, it's the guys with single entities and Black Orcs. I don't know. Have you ever seen Minotaurs charging in? They can do some insane damage. As they conga line after the Forest Goblin Spider Riders, just to undercut my point. Second and final Waz in for the Greenskins, but these Minos are just about done with the Orc Boar Boy Biggins, so they should be safe soon. Spider Riders getting cleaved by these other ones. But the Greenskins have wiped out the last of the enemy archers. Still have some Butchers of Kalkengard regenerating the distance, and a lot of chaff for the Beastmen somehow ended up in the Greenskin backline. They do need to be rallied to give a little bit of chaff support for these Minos. Forest Goblins still trying to hit the Great Bray Shaman of Death. They're not doing any damage whatsoever. Now they are routed off, leaving the Goblins all alone. Goblins will also probably rout, but there is a nice volley in from the Rusty Arrows. The Beastmen are sending multiple troops into the area to try and shut them down, but for now, those Minos are left alone. So we still have 2 healthy Minos for the Beastmen and chaff. I don't really count the caster because I doubt he's going to come back for any meaningful amount of time. He has 1 or -1 leadership depending on when the moment strikes him, and he's just not going to last very long. The other side for the Greenskins, we have 1 healthy Black Orc, a half-health Skarsnik, and a River Troll Hag somewhere. There she is. She's fine. She's regenerating up. Just chilling. 30 Spiders not doing anything on the flank? Yeah, I just feel like they do that to themselves a lot. Fermented Fungi on these Minotaurs with great weapons lowers their melee defense down to 8 and gets them no options to retreat from this area. So they're currently fighting Black Orcs and Goblins and all this shit, and Skarsnik, without any support, not due to the Beastmen's fault. It's just Rampage be a hell of a drug. And Minos trying to close back in. The Rampage has worn off, so maybe these guys can get to some safety. Ungor Raiders firing in for now, but the River Troll Hag looks to put a stop to that. And the Great Bray Shaman is getting walked off by some Orc Boar Boy Biggins. They will not allow him to return, so the Beastmen are on a ticking time bomb before their leadership will crater out. Bounce power is still dead even. And the once healthy Black Orc is now below half HP, and its leadership has seen better days. This other Black Orc is about to rout. They will not terror out, though, because they do have immune to psychology. But there goes the Great Bray Shaman, and the Lord has fled recently debuff is going to hit some of these Beastmen units, get them routing or even shattering away. Butchers of Kalkengard back in, trying to fight it out. Other Minos piling once again into these Black Orcs, and another Spirit Leech will whittle them down. The Greenskins have a lot of troops spread all over the map, though. So they have plenty of time to buy for Skarsnik to sit here and poke up at cows, because he does have really good melee defense, bonus versus large, all that stuff. He's fine. And for Spirit Leeches from the River Troll Hag, though, if these Minotaurs get a charge onto the River Troll Hag, they could delete her very, very quickly. Their bonus versus large and their really strong stats versus her, honestly, middling stats is a problem for the Greenskins. They do have some Forest Goblin Spider Riders who have realized the danger and are coming over to help out now, plus the Rusty Arrows are firing in. Can the Minos hold, or will their leadership dip? It looks like their leadership is going to crater. It's down to 6, and they didn't get that much damage out onto her before they routed off. Beastmen are falling further behind on the balance of power. Black Orc still fighting next to Skarsnik, spite of the bad moon, even giving them some bonus versus large. Actually, it didn't hit them, it just hit Skarsnik. Weird. Still have a nearly full health Ungor Spearman herd trying to rejoin the fight in the distance. Another Ungor Spearman herd is fighting some Orc Boar Boy Biggins. Okay. See if the Beastmen can really rally as they charge back into these Orc Boar Boy Biggins. On the charge, the Minos get a ton of damage. We'll probably route those Boar Boys off. And then that might start a cycle route, because I wouldn't be surprised if these Force Goblin Spider Riders also got running in a couple seconds here. But the Beastmen need their chaff. Needing their chaff to be hanging out with these Minos. And the Greenskins are just looking for more time to cast Spirit Leeches onto these last healthy Minotaurs. Then they can clean up the rest of this game just fine. The Rusty Arrows firing into those Minos who tried to return, routing them immediately. And more Beastmen, Ungor Spearman herds coming back. Black Orcs making sure to stick next to Skarsnik so they don't get isolated and killed. The Beastmen are still calmly walking back in with a lot of Spearmen. Another Spirit Leech onto the Minos who are trying to get Skarsnik. Oh, it's a Fate of Buna plus a Fermented Fungi. Nasty debuff to their leadership and good damage. The Black Orcs fighting back against them. They have attack orders to ignore the Ungor Spearman herds and just kill off the Minos. And Fate of Buna isn't amazing versus only a 16 model count unit, but it's something. I mean, it's doing enough work. The Minos will rout here soon. That's probably the last real hope for the Beastmen going. But these guys actually managed to clutch it out for now. They're holding on. 7 leadership, and the Black Orcs rout, leaving Skarsnik without any further support. These Minos are going to shatter from getting shot, and army losses is going to take hold of the Beastmen in a very, very close game, as really the only forces left for the Greenskins was the River Troll Hag and Skarsnik. Very GG's from both players. Black Orcs proved to be quite clutch. The cavalry of the Greenskins did okay, but it was mostly well countered by Koala's Minotaurs. Archers did pretty well. River Troll Hag and Skarsnik did fine in a supporting role, and Goblins honestly got shit canned right away. They just got massacred on the front. For Koala, his 5 Minos, fine value, but not actually as good as I would have thought. Archers almost all paying for themselves, and then Ungor herds and Ungor Spearman herds did fine. So pretty overall fine build. GG. The Deathcaster getting caught out was a pretty huge turning point. Where am I? Up here. Okay. Beneath the autosave is replays I need to cast for content. Above the autosave are replays for this. Renner versus Foj2. 2 of our top 5 who did end up making it past the Swiss stage. This could be a rare glimpse into our semifinals. Though Renner and Foj2 are not fighting. They're on opposite sides of the bracket, so they could only fight again if they were in finals together. But still. Empire Skaven. A pretty even matchup overall, though it is one I tend to avoid is Skaven because Boris Todbringer routing my entire army by himself over the course of 45 minutes is not something I particularly consider fun. For the Empire here, we have 1 Huntsman, 2 Crossbowmen, a Hammer of the Witch's Great Cannon, Halberdiers, Empire Knights, and then a bunch of random-ass state troops, including the Sigmar Sons, who used to be a staple of the Empire roster, and we haven't seen a lot of since Warhammer 2. Then we have Boris Todbringer, a Death Wizard with Fate of Buna and Doom and Darkness, no Spirit Leech, interestingly enough, and another Empire Knight. On the side of the Skaven, the best faction in the whole game, we do have 2 Skaven Slave Slingers, the Avalanche Mortars, ROR Poison Wind Mortars, 2 Warplock Jezzails, 1 Rattling Gun, 2 Plague Paw Catapults, 2 Plague Monks, Skaven Slaves, Lord Skrulk, and then I think I saw 3 dogs in the loading screen. Yes, 3 dogs and 2 Rat Ogres. We missed some Empire Knights, by the way. There's 4 total Empire Knights. Some of them were just deployed really weird, so I missed them. Jezzails are firing away. They'll either need to go get in range of the Hammer of the Witches or focus on firing down the Archers. Meanwhile, Empire Knight charge deletes some Wolf Rats. Wolf Rats are a really good unit, but they cannot fight cavalry in the open field. They just get trucked on, unfortunately for them. Though, I mean, that is what makes the unit balanced, so I'm not that upset. Jezzails are also trying to support the cavalry fight right now. If those Empire Knights quit while they're ahead, they can get a very good trade. But if they sit and get shot by these Warp Block Jezzails while fighting random-ass Skaven slaves, then it will not be worth it for them. Plague Claw Catapults plus the Avalanche Mortars making a lot of the Empire front line regret being alive. And Hammer of the Witches is slowly poking down Skrulk. Though unfortunately, if it was a Gracier on a Bell, the Hammer of the Witches would be having a wonderful time. But since it is Skrulk, just a little Foot Lord, it'll be tough for it to get its value back. It might want to focus on Plague Claw Catapults or the Avalanche Mortars. I don't know what Toddy's going to do. It looks like he's cautious to jump in front of Rattling Guns, but someone has to stop the Avalanche Mortars from firing. Meanwhile, Empire Knights get caught by Wolf Rats, and if they don't get the charge on the Wolf Rats, then the Wolf Rats will get pretty good damage back. Rattling Guns firing into these Crossmen and Huntsmen, getting a lot of damage out. Empire Knights still trying to cycle charge on the sides, but they're getting peeled off by Rat Ogres and Skaven Slaves, and it's this weapons team little thing that's carrying the whole game. These Empire Knights have to take advantage of this gap in the Skaven lines, and they have to get back here and just suicide themselves to kill off all of these weapons teams. That would be huge for them. It looks like they might be doing it now, but when you're fighting the Skaven, a really hard mindset to get into is sacrificing, and you just need to sacrifice. Like, you can't not take certain engagements because you're worried about taking damage. You have to accept the damage that you take, but get a better trade out of it. So if you're worried about your Empire Knights getting back here and dying, that's fine, because 850 Empire Knights could kill off 4 weapons teams worth over 4,000 gold right now. So that'd just be a great trade for you. These Empire Knights trying to get past Wolf Rats, trying to get past these Skaven Slave Slingers, and it looks like Boris Todbringer might be landing this back area. Here we go. This is the play the Empire needed to make, but a Rod of Corruption plus the leadership debuffs from Skrulk hitting these Empire Knights in melee will be enough to make them rout. So unfortunately, Empire will not be able to kill those guys, but maybe with Boris and these Empire Knights, they can just sweep down through here and rout all 4 of these guys. That would be a great way to get them back into this game. Also, the Amethyst Wizard is forgotten. With 78 speed, it's definitely not like he's been walking this whole time. He is on horseback. He could get here if he wanted to. So unfortunately, the Empire has been fighting this whole battle without their caster. Avalanche Mortars still shutting down Crossmen. Plague Claw Catapult also offering their fight in. Doing good. And Boris is here to shut down 3 different weapons teams at the same time if he effectively paths. But unfortunately, he's lost too many Empire Knights at this point, and the Deathcaster was not here. So there's really nothing to back him up. Some other Empire Knights will rear charge the Plague Claw Catapults. Should shut it down pretty effectively. But I don't know what the Amethyst Wizard does at this point. Probably throws a Fate of Buna on the Rattling Guns, and then has Franz grind out the Warp Block Jezzails. Oh, that was a beautiful Hammer of the Witches shot, and then paired with all of Boris's leadership debuffs and a Doom of Darkness Overcast. Huge play for the Empire. Everything here is routing. Those Wolf Rats are also going to go, and all of a sudden, Skrulk is left alone with the Sigmar Sons and Boris. Maybe he could even get sniped out with all these leadership debuffs going on. Skrulk throws out a real quick summon and a Fate of Buna onto these Rat Ogres just to stop them for a moment. Empire Knights are getting shafted while they're in the woods, but other Empire Knights are sweeping up from behind to try and get these other units that are routing to keep them routing off. But these Empire Knights being forgotten for now, they need to get activated. The Empire Knights in the woods, I don't know if they were forgotten or not, but they need to get activated. So really good decision-making from the Empire player so far, but just a little slow on some of the draws. But like when they make the decision, it's the correct one. It's just whether they're making enough decisions quickly enough is what I'm noticing so far out of them. On the other side for the Skaven, really good target selection. I think the build was a little too fragile, because if the Empire player had been a little quicker on some of these decisions, I think you would have lost a lot of your backline a lot more quickly. I think it's too many ranged units, not enough melee to defend it, would be my main criticism. But aside from that, your play's been pretty good. Wolf Rats are usually where they need to be. Rat Ogres are where they need to be. Rattling Guns gun down Boris Todbringer, and that might be GG, because Boris does carry a lot of games for the Empire in this matchup. His late game cycle charging and terror routes and stuff is just huge. Without that, I think the Skaven should be able to clutch this out. We still have some Rattling Gunners shooting and stuff, but without Boris, there just really isn't the stopping power to get rid of the Skaven, as these Skaven slaves are going to walk over and finish off these Huntsmen and Crossmen. Same with the Rat Ogres. Skrulk has a Clan Rat summon out, but Hammer of the Witches still has a lot of ammo and is still firing in. There's an extra Spearman that was also forgotten for the Empire. Avalanche Mortars might be shut down. Might being a keyword in there. But with Wolf Rats sweeping in to clean up the ashes, I think the Amethyst Wizard will also get stopped here soon. And then that should cause army losses. The Hammer of the Witches is still firing in on Skrulk. But it's not enough. GG. All right, we have our first semifinal game in. It is Galroch and Foch 2. Both of them sent me the replay. I just saved the one that was sent to me first, but I actually don't know who won yet, and I don't care to know because I want to learn in the replay. So we'll get to that in just a second. Empire Knights, pretty solid value. Anthos Wizard also did good when he showed up. He's just a little late to the party. Hammer the Witches paid for itself. Boris did okay for supporting things, but the infantry and crossmen were just shut down because that's classic Skaven things. If you think your infantry get to play the game versus Skaven, they just don't. That's why like a lot of people hate Skaven. I love Skaven, but I don't pretend. When people are like, bro, I hate fighting Skaven, I'm not like, what? I get it. I just love them. Weapons teams did fine. Rattling Gunners paid. Me and Anthrax are still playing a grind-ass Dwarf Brett match. How are you typing that right now? How are you typing that in game? Alright. Jokes aside. So this is our... No. This is not our replay. So I'll delete that, because we'll come back to Swiss replays after we catch the semifinal. So this is on the side of the bracket that doesn't have Renner waiting. So whoever wins this is going to finals. It's Foch 2, who actually just watched their Skaven, versus Galroch on the Vampire Counts. A traditionally good matchup for the Vampire Counts, though I have had some success in it recently. It's still a bit of a gamble. I have a build I really, really like versus Vampire Counts, but it got murdered by Vlad. I played with Father Ramsey recently, and he beat me because he brought Vlad. Damn it. I brought a Mutant Rat Ogre that can do okay versus dragons, but I mostly brought it for Vlad, in case he existed. And then it lost to Vlad. Which, I know you might be like, wow, you threw it against Vlad and he beat it? I meant, I'm supposed to cycle charge it and have a Packmaster. It was a complicated game, but he did win, and the Mutant Rat Ogre didn't do enough versus Vlad to be worth taking. Alright, what do we have here? For the Skaven, still a lot of weapons teams. We have 2 Warplock Jezzails, a Rattling Gun, some Skaven Slave Slingers, Wolf Rats, 2 Rat Ogres, Lord Skrulk, and then a front line of Skaven Slaves with 2 Plague Monks. On the other side, for the Vampire Counts, we have 3 Doggos, 4 Vargeist, 2 Vargulfs, 5 Zombies, Manfred von Karstein with Fate of Buna and Spirit Leech, and then a Corpse Cart with an Unholy Lodestone. And this is a very tricky build from the Vampire Counts, because the Skaven have to put a lot of their energy into shutting down Vargeists, which it's just a must in this matchup. But then you also have Manfred and 2 Vargulfs. I like Wolf Rats versus Vargeist, but they need a Packmaster to give them the Shock Collar for the ITP and extra melee attack, because then when the Vargeists land on any ranged units, you can countercharge them with Wolf Rats and give them the buffs, and you can fuck them up pretty bad. But this, I don't know. I was struggling this matchup a lot more before I realized that, because Rattling Guns, I don't think they're going to get a lot of damage on the Vargeists. Maybe they'll prove me wrong, but Vargeists tend to just kind of get through it like that. Like, that wasn't a full volley, but it feels like the Rattling Guns just miss a lot of the time for some reason. Rattling Guns firing onto the Vargeists. And in one volley, take him down to about half HP. But the Vargeists are kind of flying straight at him. They need to walk away when they're the ones being shot at. So it looks like one Vargeist is going down. Manfred started his Spirit Leech onto Skrulk, but the other Vargeists are in. The Vargulf is in too. He's trying to heal up with the Hunger. And there go the Avalanche Mortars, instantly deleted on the charge by those Vargeists. And a Breath Attack from Manfred actually takes a good amount of health off the Warplock Jezzails. Not something I would have expected. Slingers are trying to stop him, but the Vargeists are diving in. And going after Skrulk is a mistake. I really want to see the Vampire Counts focus on the weapons teams. You don't care about Skrulk, he's too tanky. And the Rattling Guns are taking their day out on Manfred. Vargeist also taking a lot of damage. They have to spread out. They have to stop these Jezzails, have to stop the Rattling Guns. But they're busy trying to kill Skrulk right now, and it's really not working out for them. They're taking so much damage. Wolf Rats are trying to come in now, but one Vargeist has died. Manfred has almost died for their efforts. And that is a brutal mistake from the Vampire Counts that is getting horribly punished by the Skaven. Vargulf now doing some disruption. Direwolves too, so things are getting a little bit better. If the Vampire Counts can just back off and heal up that Vargeist, heal up Manfred for a bit, they can get back in this. But that is a rough, rough transaction of gameplay for like 20 seconds there. One Jezzail is getting terror routed away. Vargeists are back in onto this other Jezzail so they can get their hunger healing back, which is good for them. Manfred's still getting poked a little bit. Wolf Rats should get routed off by the Dire Pack. The Vampire Counts are not out of this yet. They just need to slow the game down. If they can kill off the weapons teams and then just back off and heal kite for a while, they'll be fine. These Dire Wolves get rid of the Wolf Rats and then they peel off and get immediately onto those Warp Block. Jezzail's trying to shut them down. Meanwhile, these Rattling Guns throw guard mode on and melee with a Zombie Summon and a Vargulf. Before they get Terror routed, they did attempt to get some last minute value out. And these Vargeist are still fighting Plague Monks and Skrulk. They're going to want to stop that as Mannfred chucks out a quick little Zombie Summon to offer them some support. That's nice. They'll appreciate that at least. More and more of the Skaven units are routing. Vampire Count's going to try and clean them up. Zombies working on Skaven Slave front line. That is a wash. No one cares who wins that fight. It is all about this back line right now. Corpse Carp down a Holy Lodestone, healing up the Vargulf and giving zombies a little bit more melee stats. And these Vargeists have stabilized. But diving back in onto something, I don't know what, but they really, really need to focus on routing off the ranged units rather than picking new fights, as Jezzails are going to rally. The Zombie Summon is fading away, allowing the Rattling Guns to rally. We do have some dogs in the backfield that need to be brought up by the Skaven. But the Jezzails are going to get some more free poke onto Mannfred, and the Rattling Guns might even turn around, throw guard mode on, and chunk his ass out of the game, and that could end it if he dies. Wolfrat's trying to get back in the fight. Mannfred heals himself just a little bit. The Rattling Guns are looking for something to shoot at. They'll either shoot at the Vargeists or Mannfred, but the Zombie Summon has faded away. Mannfred is the target. Getting nice little poke damage down his Invocation of Nehek, healing him back up, but any damage is good damage onto ye old Mannfred. Vargeist fading away. Vargulf still chilling. The Skaven have a lot left. Mannfred's down to 1,400 HP, still getting chunked out. The Vargeist do shut down the Jezzails at last. They can't do anything about the Rattling Guns. Vargulf almost in crumbling territory. They have strangely terrible leadership. And here come the dogs to try and punish those Vargeists. They do get back into the sky. Zombies trying to shut down the Rattling Guns. But Mannfred is too low. He is crumbling at this point. And it looks like the Rattling Guns have doomed him. He is dead. And with him, probably go the Vampire Count's chances. Rattling Guns firing at point-blank range into the last Zombie Summon, but some dogs are here to help bail them out. Vargulf's trying to snipe out Lord Skrulk. That is a honest last-ditch effort to win this game. If you kill Skrulk, maybe the Vargulf's self-healing can keep them in this game for long enough with the Corpse Cart, if that can be rallied. Vargeist diving back onto the dogs, and the Rattling Guns could rout both of them, honestly. But it is, when I say a last-ditch effort, it is a last-ditch effort if these Vargulfs are going to carry it. Vargeist take out a dog. Other dog might have the nearby friends are routing debuff and get murdered. Rattling Gun's also going to rout. Corpse Cart is not healing enough to get rid of its crumbling damage, so it is slowly falling apart. Rattling Guns, the bravest Rattling Guns in the entire world, by the way, with 3,600 damage value, have guard mode on and are firing at these Vargeists. The Vargeists look like they're coming back to the main fight instead of shutting down those Rattling Guns. The Rattling Guns who can. Hey boy, how do you feel about double net versus tons of shooting against VC? You can't have two targeted nets. You could have Warp Grinder and Howling Warp Gale. Skrulk is chucking out more summons. The Vargulfs are trying to snipe him out. The Vargeists have also joined this fight, however, and they are shut down. That means the Rattling Guns, oof, they're routed by that zombie summon one more time. Unfortunately for the Vampire Counts, they're not shattered, so they should be able to come back. And then without any Vargeists, that just means the Rattling Guns will be able to rally and fire back in. Vargulfs both getting close to crumbling. They're the last two beings on this map for the Vampire Counts. And one of the Vargulfs thinks about fighting the Rattling Guns, and then he goes back for Skrulk. He was just trying to get some space so he could charge the leader of the Skaven. Gets a big hit in, is maybe going to rout that guy, but I doubt he can outright kill him. And the Rattling Guns are continuing to offer that supporting fire. Giga damage for them. And that is GG. So that Vargulf is going to start crumbling, and that is it. So the Skaven, powered by Thaj2, will go to our finals. Galrach had an admirable performance today. Skrulk got good value. Clan Rats and Skaven Slaves not so much. Plague Monks did fine. Rat Ogres did some good blocking. Dogs did okay. Slingers did not do a lot, but the Rattling Guns with 3,800 value in the end did great. Giselles did fine. Avalanche Mortars, unfortunately, didn't have much targets. They were just shooting at zombies, but that's all there was to shoot at. I don't know who won yet, but I have the other pseudo-semi kind of sort of final between Lazy Frond and Anthrax. It used to be a semi-final before we realized that Renner actually also qualified. So, Renner, if you're still in the chat, your opponent's ready. I don't know who it is, and I don't want to know who it is, but they are ready. So let's cast that game. I have heard that this was a super scary, spooky time to be alive. But we have a fast forward button if it's really that bad. All right. For our top 5, we have Anthrax and Lazy Frond, Fey Enchantress and Bretonnia versus Dwarves. It's not really Hero Hammer, it's just Thoric and Gotrek. They don't have the constant healing of Felix. Lizards? There is no lizards. No lizards exist here for you. Once again, an elimination game between Lazy and Anthrax. The winner of this will go fight Renner. For the Dwarves, we have Slayers, 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 Giant Slayers, Triple Quarreler, a front line of Dwarf Warriors, 1 cannon, and then Thoric, Thundercock, and Gotrek Gurnison, both on foot. Your Discord is having issues, you'll drop out of the tourney? Okay. Sorry, 1 second. Renner told me their Discord is having issues. Please give them 10 minutes. If no response, move on to finals. Lucas Renner in YouTube chat, I don't distrust you because your name has Renner in it. But in case your Discord starts working, or in case you are not that player, 10 minutes is a fine delay. We have plenty of replays to cast from the Swiss stage. That is not a problem at all. And then if it is true that your Discord's still having issues, then we are only 10 minutes delayed. Not a problem. Not a problem at all. Human Boy the Goat, single-handedly carrying Warhammer multiplayer. Guys, I have 2 hands. But no, it is appreciated. I just don't know how to take compliments because I'm a little piece of garbage. Yep. Renner, I hear you. Also, another potential workaround, if you guys are down with it, I'm down with it, you could just talk to them in YouTube chat, because Lazy was in here. Yeah, Lazy's here. So that's up to you. Entirely up to you. It's not a big deal for me either way. But, yeah. Lazy, if you're listening to this, if you don't hear from Renner in 10 minutes, move on to the finals, or if you guys do YouTube chat, it's also fine. Okay, we got a game. So I covered the Dwarf build. On the other side, for the Forces of Bretonnia, we do have 1 Grail Guardian, 1 Royal Hippogriff Knight, the Fey Enchantress on her Unicorn with Regrowth and Earthblood, 5 Archers, 4 Foot Squires, and then 2 Grail Reliques and a bunch of Peasant Bobs. Alright. Dwarven Cannons for now doing their best. They are a bit in front of the Quarrelers, and it looks like the Hippogriff Knights are just going to dive them and immediately take these guys out. Rune of Oath and Steel gives them some armor, but it's not super guaranteed. Gotrek is trying to walk up and damage them a little bit. These cannons probably have to fall back. Either take their mounts with them, or I guess they're just abandoning the mounts for now. But they're ahead of their Dwarf Warriors, which is a bit of a problem. Quarrelers will outduel Peasant Bowmen, because they're shielded and armored and such, but they're doing their best. And for now, the Cavalry of Bretonnia is chilling to the side. Hippogriff Knights got 1 charge and then fucked off. Grail Guardians got 1 charge and then fucked off? Yeah. They fucked off to the back line. Meanwhile, Bretonia's peasants are starting to rout. Some of their archers are also taking damage. Meanwhile, these other archers are firing in. And just a note for the Bretonnian player here, if you want it, if you don't want it, then that's fine. Focus your fire on the Slayers. You're never gonna win a shooting fight with the Quarrelers with peasant archers. It's just not worth your time. Look at how long you've been firing these Quarrelers and nothing's happening. The Slayers are the threat to your cavalry. Just shoot the Slayers. With 0 armor, their bronze shields won't even save them from your arrows. You get a ton of value, and then your cav can carry the game for you. So just a heads up. Never shoot back against Quarrelers with peasant archers. You're just going to lose it. Anyway. Quarrelers still doing fine. Dwarf warriors are holding against the unholy Bretonnian peasant tide. We do have a pick and ban for our semifinal going on in the YouTube chat, which is fine. I'll allow it. Fey-Enchantress chucks out her free Chalice of Potions, which is just a bound combo to Casadora, and it smokes the cannon crew that was already dead. They're completely fucked. They have 85 total HP, and the Fey-Enchantress just hits them for no reason. The Quarrelers have demolished the Peasant Archer backline, which will allow the Slayers in the late game to return the favor against the cavalry. And Bretonnia's cavalry has just been forced to stay the fuck away, as they don't want anything to do with all of these Slayers that are around. And Gotrek got onto the Fey-Enchantress. Oh, okay, that can't be allowed to happen. She immediately realizes that and starts to run away, and the Hippogriff Knights are going to dive onto Gotrek. Not sure if that's going to be a good trade for them, as he does have insane melee stats versus large targets. Grail Guardian's getting a rear charge onto some Dwarf Warriors, but this Dwarven build is a nightmare for Bretonnia. All these Slayers just sitting around waiting for the late game where they can grind through this Bretonnian cav. The Royal Hippogriff Knights down to half HP after just fighting with Gotrek and Thoric for a little bit. Now diving into the backline. They will shut down the Quarrelers, but they have Slayers to contend with. Giant Slayers and regular Slayers. And a little bit of healing was all that these guys got. Is Gotrek and Thoric? No, just Thoric. Because Gotrek gets to fight the Fey-Enchantress again. How does this keep happening? As the Fey-Enchantress runs away from Gotrek again, but did take a bunch of damage. The Hippogriff Knights are back into the sky, trying to stay safe, and the Grail Guardians get massacred by these Slayers. Their Lance formation lowering their melee defense to only 51, which is still pretty good, but only 51. The Dwarves are tearing them apart, and Bretonnia has lost a very important cav piece. Regrowth is out onto their Hippogriff Knights to try and keep those guys safe. And the front line of Bretonnia is holding. There's so many of them, and a lot of Foot Squires. They're all buffed up by the Grail Relic. Maybe they can grind through the Slayers, but if that is true, then these cav have to chill, because for now, they're getting murdered. Now, Gotrek does not have Felix or anything like that, so there's no healing coming in for him. Unless he gets his Heroic Doom, but even that's a pretty meh heal. Meh. Bretonnia has rallied some of their lost remnant of archers, and the Quarrelers are too damaged to really fire back right now. They're mostly under threat from the Bretonnian peasants. I also would like to see some of the Bretonnian peasants go around the side, because we can see a big blobs forming here. In a different matchup where your opponent might have spells, this could really lose you the game, so just offering the insight if you want it. Versus Dwarves, blobbing up isn't that big of a deal. Just a heads up. But Foot Squires, and even Peasant Mobs, if they're buffed up by the Grail Relics, will trade favorably into Slayers, because Slayers have no armor. And now those archers... Yeah, look at the damage those archers are doing to Giant Slayers. Even as damaged as they are, they're doing good. And Slayers seem to be rather patient, still just standing around. I don't even know what they're defending at this point, though. I guess we have some Quarrelers here that could be firing back. Grail Guardians, 14 out of 32 models. Hippogriff Knights, 11 out of 12, so they're doing just fine. As the Dwarves start to falter. Their front line starts to fall apart. And Earthblood is trying to help out the Grail Guardians, plus a regrowth onto the Grail Guardians. Really going to heal them up. It's Overcast, too. My word, my goodness gracious. Hippogriff Knights thinking about diving onto the Quarrelers, and they will commit. Nope, they're back up in the sky. Some of them are. Other ones are down in the land of the Slayers. As Gotrek and Thoric continue to fight against all these Bretonnian peasants. We still have three Foot Squires on the field. They're not feeling too great, but they're on the field. One shattered off. And Slayers are sallying forth with Dwarf Warriors to fight these Foot Squires in the field of honest combat. This build is a nightmare for Brett. I mean, it's working pretty good. Balance Power is about dead even. There's still a lot of Slayers left. Hippogriff Knights will take this chance to pick off a Quarreler who was left behind by the Slayer Tide. And those Slayers are going to go back and try and support their Quarreler brethren as these other Quarrelers continue to fight back. Gotrek is getting to fight Grail Guardians alongside Thoric Thundercack, so he's going to be fine. If you're wondering where that reference is from, I forget. It was either Boojilicious or Samaric called him that, and it really stuck in my brain. So I don't ever say it in the first 30 minutes of a stream because then I'll get demonetized. But at this point in the stream, YouTube's never going to check this far in. They peace out after 30 minutes. Peasant Bowman running out of ammunitions. The Slayers can overrun that one. This guy has plenty of ammo, but it looks like Thoric and the Slayers are here to take care of him. We still have a full health Slayer in the background. There go the Peasants once again. Hippogriff's still very healthy. Grail Guardian's not feeling so hot. Peasant Archer's getting murked. For the Dwarves, we still have two very healthy Slayers, and then a couple wounded, but still existing ones. Little fast forward as we're just watching Dwarves slowly chase down cavalry. Quarrelers get attacked by the Royal Hippogriff Knights, then run off by them. Royal Hippogriff Knights really don't want to sit and fight this full health Slayer, even if that could be the death sentence for them, but oh no. Fey Enchantress getting a little cozy with some Dwarf Warriors, and she can't deal with that. We've talked about it in recent streams, but in case you missed those, this is not the Fey Enchantress of Warhammer 2. This is not your dad's Fey Enchantress. This Fey Enchantress is very vulnerable to getting surrounded by basic infantry. She takes a ton of damage. She's not nearly as tanky as she used to be, which is fine. I think it's healthier for the game. She is going to burn a regrowth on herself to try and get that balance power back up a little bit. Hippogriff Knights finish chasing off something, and a staunch line of Slayers hold back a bunch of quite damaged peasants. Ooh, and both Grail Relics are here. This could actually be a good turnaround for the Dwarves. Killing off Grail Relics is huge. They do offer like a really good +8 leadership, +5 melee attack aura, which, not that Hippogriffs need that much health, but I mean, it's helpful. Rear charge coming in on the Slayers. Let's watch their HP disappear. And they lose about a quarter of their HP on impact, and now the Hippogriff Knights are going to run away. Speaking of running away, some Men-at-Arms, some Foot Squires thinking about going. One Grail Relic is down, the other one is still fighting for now, and Gotrek, Thoric, and the other Slayers are coming back to rally once more, though these Quarrelers are doomed. Gotrek dares the Hippogriff Knights to land on him. Looks like Rune of Oath and Steel is getting cast. 30 armor for those guys, though these guys are armor-piercing majority of the time, so it's not like they really care about armor. And they will try and run away from all the Slayers, but they are taking some damage on the way out. Meanwhile, over here, the Slayers have prevailed, took down the other Grail Relic, and pushed off all of the Foot Squires, which is a great, great trade for the Dwarves. We still have one Quarreler to offer a little bit of pew-pew. For Bretonnia, zooming out, Fey Enchantress is busy chasing down something. Chasing down a dream, I guess. Cause I'm running down a dream. Ba-da-bum, bum, ba-da-bum, bum, ba-dum. I lost my train of thought. We have some Peasant Bowmen with no ammunition left. They could be offered as chaff later. Slayers get charged for right now. Hippogriff Knights taking a bit of return damage from that, but not too much just yet. The Dwarves have mostly reformed ranks. Looks like Grail Guardians are going to go punt these Quarrelers into the ether. Boom! Goodbye, Quarrelers. Dwarves have reformed. Fey Enchantress does need to regroup. Royal Hippogriff Knights dive in. Take a little bit of damage in response, but that's going to kind of be the theme of the rest of this game, ain't it? Is every charge has a price, and I wonder how much healing the Fey Enchantress even has for you lot. Grail Guardian's going to go fight some Slayers, do sandwich in those Slayers, getting good damage, but they're getting poked slowly by Quarrelers, and of course the Slayers themselves are fighting back, doing really good damage to the Royal Hippogriff Knights. Brett has some Peasant Bowmen they could offer. Also, the Fey Enchantress is fucked off, but I think most of the red team micro is focusing on these things. Now, before you call out, like, rule breaks and stuff and, like, cycle charging, I could look at it very closely for that. It's borderline, but in new player tournaments, I look at the intent, and it's pretty clear the intent of the Bretonnian player is honest. He's not trying to cheese this shit out. It just seems like his micro isn't Void Law's god tier level to cycle charge, like, rules appropriately. But if he was timing this different, like, Hippogriff Knights in, then Grail Knights in, Hippogriff Knights out, then Hippogriff Knights in, Grail Knights out, then yeah, he could cycle charge like this, but he's just a little slow on the draw for the charges, so I think, like, technically this would be a rule break for not being in combat long enough, but, like, I understand what's attempted here. Grail Guardians, I don't know where they were going. They were trying to route something off, and that's that. Fey Enchantress probably needs to rejoin the fight about now. Yeah, Grail Guardians just went too far away. Coming back now. Royal Hippogriff Knight's still trying to charge it out. There's too many Slayers. And Gotrek too. And judging by the fact that the Fae hasn't come back and offered Earthbloods or anything, I think he's out of Winds of Magic. You want to take this as a rule break? I think you're behind on the delay, Phoenix King. There was one that was like, stuff was just sitting around, but like shit happens. Dwarves have probably got it at this point. Fae Enchantress rejoins for a little bit. Grail Guardians are charging in, and they try to get back out, but they get worked on by the Slayer team. And the Hippogriff Knights are back. They get worked on by the Slayer team, and whenever they commit to the fight, they just get shafted real bad. It looks like the Bretonnian player is considering how to even handle this at this point. And again, the Grail Guardians fuck off to a very far away spot, which makes me just think that they clicked off screen for, you know, too far away. 20 minutes into the game. Still, the Hippogriff Knights are just trying to, like, just tap it in. Just tap it in. Tap, tap, tap-a-rooney. There, the Hippogriff Knights committed, take a bunch of damage, and they're down to 3 models. The Fae is officially out of Winds of Magic at this point, and that is army losses. So overall, good build from the Dwarves. Really effective versus their Bretonnian counterparts. Slayers got really, really good value. The cannon, I would have preferred if it was behind the Dwarf Warriors, but shit happens. Dwarf Warriors did fine. Coilers did fine. GG's. The other side for Anthrax, Fae Enchantress did her best. Royal Hippogriff Knights and Grail Guardians did their best, didn't get a ton of value. Foot Squires did pretty darn well. Archers overall did well. And then the Grail Reliques and Peasants did their best. GG. So that means Lazy, as we saw in the chat, is moving on to fight Renner. We will see who wins that. But meanwhile, let's go back and cast some other games from the thingy. I don't have a ton of buttonized mark replays. There's one. I'll cast this one, because it's a little different. I don't want to just cast Anthrax Bretonnia again right after that, so I'll cast this. It's a little different. Oh, fuck, it's Kugath, the Beast of Nurgle, and Double Soul Grinder. Alright, GG, never mind. I don't want to cast this anymore. Get me out. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I'm gonna vomit. Oh my god. No, I guess it's against Dark Elves. At least there's some shooting. It's not a melee blob.
Yes, I will.
Alright, for Nurgle, we have 4 Nurglings, 5 Plague Bearers, a Beast of Nurgle, Double Soul Grinder, and Kugath Plaguefather. On the other side, for the Dark Elves, we have 2 Dark Rider Peter Crossbows, 2 Dark Riders regulars, Double Shade, 2 Dark Shards, 3 Blackheart Corsair Handbows, a Sister of Slaughter, 2 Dread Spears, 1 Cold One Dread Knight, Lokir Fellheart on foot, and a Firecaster with just Burning Head. I like it! My Dark Elves vs. Lizardmen was fun. I'll get to it. I just didn't want to cast like a Bretonnian game right after casting a Bretonnian game. I wanted to switch it up a little bit. Archers are getting in range. Archers are the biggest counter to Nurgle, especially armor-piercing archers like Shades or Dark Shards. So they're going to fire in. I am very concerned that these 2 Shades are right on top of each other. If the Soul Grinders notice this, 2 shots could kill both of those units at the same time, and they are starting to spread out now, so I like that. A little bit of a mistake, but it wasn't punished in time, and the player realized it moved. Shade's getting good damage out onto the Soul Grinder, and a Burning Head goes through the Plague Bearers, though they're spread out and giant HP pools. We'll keep them mostly safe here. Already, Kugath and the Soul Grinders have routed off. It looks like 1 Dark Shard and maybe 2 Blackheart Corsair Handbows. Shades get hit with a Stream of Corruption, though it really doesn't do that much damage to them. Again, being spread out will do that. Dark Shards continue to fire in at the poor Soul Grinders, who are taking a lot of damage. Kugath has Fleshy Abundance, though. I don't know if he has the Winds of Magic for an overcast this early that could save the Soul Grinders. Their leadership is already falling. They're almost in the Demonic Instability range. And they might go. There's one. Demonic Instability will take out that Soul Grinder of Nurgle. Nurgle's actually a little bit ahead on the Bounce of Power for now, which shocks me a bit, but I guess we have seen 3 Dark Elf Infantry units almost deleted. Another Burning Head goes down the line. It's going to hit 5 clumped up Nurgle units, also lowering their leadership to make it easier for them to get that Demonic Instability crumbling. The Fecundity is trying to heal them up, but we still lose a Nurgling in the process. We lost Soul Grinder. But the Dark Elves do take half HP off of one of those Dark Riders. Repeater Crossbows stuck with Plague Bears in melee combat. And Plague Bears will kill both of these guys in melee combat. Plague Bears are really good melee combatants. You just don't see them a lot because they're so slow and so weak to Archer Fire that they usually don't get a stand-up melee fight. But when they get one, oh, they'll win it. They'll do great for 700 gold. Anyway, other Soul Grinder at half HP, still taking damage. Kugath is now the target of attention and taking a lot himself, but the Plague Bears are slapping these fools on the far side, so they're getting good value out there. Is that a Blight Boil? I don't know if I've seen a Blight Boil in-game ever. I want to see its damage. That's all I want out of life. Deletes a Dread Spear, barely touches a Cold One Dread Knight. Okay, probably still a bad spell, but funny. Another Burning Head going to go through the wounded Nurgle units, might cause some Demonic Instability crumbling at last. I'm sure the Dark Elves are like, please, just crumble. As it curves away from the front line, denying the Dark Elves the satisfaction of a whole frontline Demonic Instability crumbling away. Instead, they get nothing. The Soul Grind of Nurgle is about to start crumbling just due to the Repeater Crossbow fire. The Shades and Dark Shards will take out Kugath soon here. And the Plague Bearers have routed off a Repeater Crossbow. It looks like it ran off the map, and they've almost finished up on a Shade, but it won't be enough to save Kugath from the threat of Archers. There goes the Soul Grinder, there goes Kugath, and there goes the game. The Nurgle frontline held forever, but Archers are still very spooky scary. Blackheart Corsair Handbows struggled to really get their damage up, but the Skirmish Cav did much better. The Dark Shards did overall amazing, and this Shade had a great day. 2,700 value. Lokir chilled. Lokir just vibed. He was fine. For Buttonized Mark, Kugath got 2,100 value. Soul Grinders really struggled to pay for themselves, though. Plague Bearers, mixed. That one's the one that got on the Shades and the Repeater Crossbows, so he did fine. And Nurglings just kind of died, as they usually do. So GG's. Alright, someone said their Lizardmen replay was fun. We haven't had any Lizardmen yet today. Oh, we did. We had the Lizardmen Mass Cav. Oh, that one looks cool. Okay, there's a lot of Lizardmen left here. Alright, let's do this one. Professor Evil versus Galraj. This looks neat. A Cold One Cav Rush versus a single Horned One, Saurus, and then some single entities for Professor Evil. I don't know if we've cast 2 of his games yet today, but we did cast 1. We cast that Warriors of Chaos game where the start was rough, and then he really came back and started like showing what he was made of later. I have to drink my tea. Alright, after this game, I'm going to go grab a beverage, because I'm out of tea and my throat is dry. So, for the Lizardmen of Professor Evil, we have a front line of Saurus with clubs and Saurus with spears. We have Krokgar up on his T-Rex. Badass, though usually a bad mount choice, unfortunately. We have a Skink Oracle with Flock of Doom and Earthblood. Actually has been pretty good. Pigman 202 especially has been using a lot of the Skink Oracle, making it look quite pog. Hand of the Gods is going to snipe out Morathi, doing decent damage to start. We do have 1 Rev Crystal for a bit more sniping, but also that blinded debuff. On the other side for Galrach, we did mention it before, but it's Bleak Swords and Dread Spears across the front line with 3 of each Cold One Dread Knights and Cold One Regular Knights. Morathi up in the sky with Power of Darkness, Soul Stealer, and Melkos Mystifying Miasma. Oh, there's a Horned One. I missed the Horned One, but he's here. This is a rough start for the Dark Elf Cav Corps as they get caught in Saurus Spears, which they'll lose that combat, and they're getting side shot by Javelins, so their shield isn't even applying, and they're taking that damage. Brutal start for that cavalry piece. Meanwhile, Krokgar is lurking, just trying to find a home. This is going very well for the Dark Elves. Melkoths plus a 2v1 of Cold One Knights and Cold One Dread Knights will kill off the Horned One, and it looks like a Bound Doombolt from Morathi is also going to kill him. Wow. Galrach really hates this specific Horned One. There we go. You're surprised Morathi isn't more meta for the Dark Elves? She's definitely in their top lords right now. Still see a Sorceress most of the time, but she's up there. We've been seeing more of her since the patch. Horned Ones getting an Earthblood heal from the Skink Oracle, and Krokar is trying to dive in. It looks like he's going for Marathi. Marathi will chuck down a Soul Stealer to heal herself up preemptively and also get a little bit of damage out, but it looks like taking a duel with Krokar, she just wanted that healing to be coming in hot. Skink Oracles do need a space to sit and shoot. Probably want to fire at either the Cold One Dread Knights or Marathi. Krokar is currently getting really big chunks out of Marathi, and the Soul Stealer heal is done. So that's her with healing is getting this messed up. Horned Ones are still holding her in place with Cold Blooded, giving them more leadership, but that will not save them forever, and they are about to rout. Lizardmen are up on the balance of power. It looks like the Solar Stylodon is hoping to fire at something, and the Skink Oracle is having a tough time standing and shooting. I don't know if he's really been firing at all. He is going for Marathi. That is a great target for him. He can acquire just slow damage over time. Whoa, that did not do anything. She only has 15% missile resist. Why did that not do any damage? Weird. But Cold One Dread Knights and Cold One Knights will surround him, and Skink Oracles are very squishy. Their stats don't look like they'd be that squishy, like 7,000 HP, 46 melee defense, but something about it, man. They just, ever since they were created in Warhammer 2, Troglodons are very, very squishy. And I don't think that's a bad thing, but it is odd. Hand of the Gods whiffs as Marathi comes in at a very intense angle. The Skink Oracle is trying to fight his way out of all these cold ones. Horned Ones are trying to rejoin the fight, but their leadership probably is just going to dip as soon as Marathi charges them like that. They will just get out of here. The Saurus front line is still holding / winning. Maybe some of those Saurus Spears can come back here and help out the Lizardman units. The Laser Dino is trying to crawl his way over to the Saurus Spears, and I imagine Krokar is too. Yeah, he went to a different Saurus Spear, but a lot of the big dinosaurs are trying to get to these Saurus supporting units. Marathi dives back onto the Skink Oracle, getting some damage out here, but the Saurus Spears have stopped in place. They need to continue to walk forward. They got to get up here and help the Skink Oracle. Looks like they're starting to come in now, but they're taking way too long to do it, and a Cold-Blooded is all that's keeping the Skink Oracle in this game. Other Saurus Spears getting worked down by Dread Knights. They're about to rout, and Krokar is abandoning the situation. He has no more charges of Hands of the Gods or anything like that, and he might try and catch Marathi out here all alone. The Skink Oracle is about to die. And Krokar doesn't seem to notice her now. He gets attack orders onto her, but it's a little too late. She's going to get back in the sky. She'll be just fine. Lizardmen falling behind. They are entirely reliant on this one Saurus Spear and a half-health Krokar to carry this game. Skink Oracle is dead to me. I don't really think he's going to matter at this point. Nothing else also seems to matter. Skink Oracle somehow still in this game. But it's going out. All right, Lazy Frond and Renner. I don't know which of you won, but whichever of you did win, can you message Fodge too? Whichever you won, just message him. Send me the replay from you guys. Don't tell me who won. I don't want to know who won. I don't want to know who won. Just whichever you did win, go organize your finals, and I'll deal with it in a bit. Send me the replay, and I'll cast it in a second. Krokar still fighting it out with some Saurus Spears, but Marathi has another Soul Stealer for him to heal herself up and whittle him down. That should make the balance of power go pretty close to Army Losses territory. And she even dives in for another fight at Krokar, but every time she's attempted this in the past, she has gotten slapped. This time is not going to be that case, however, as Krokar is dragged into the dirt, and that is Army Losses. GG. Looks like we have our other semi-final to cast as soon as I get a replay here, and we can figure out who's going to be in the finals. Marathi got great value. Cold One Dread Knights did pretty darn well. Cold One Knights also did pretty well. And the Bleak Swords and Dread Spears mostly got capped by the Lizardmen. The other side for Professor Evil, a lot better control than his first game we cast, so already seeing a lot of improvement there. He made Krokar actually look good, which I've never been able to do. Skink Oracle had a tough time firing, but that was more of the enemy build than like a problem with what he did. Horned Ones were outmatched, just like 6-1 on the Cav front. The Saurus front line did well, so yeah. Played a lot better that one, Professor Evil, if you're still in the chat. I liked it. It was good. And I'll get back to some of these replays. We might be able to cast all of them that were sent to me. We have 5 to go and finals is about to start. Maybe. That might be close, but when they have to do picks and bans and stuff and we're just casting replays, we can rip through them pretty fast. All right, someone is going to the finals to face Fojtida. I don't know how to say his name. It's one of these two. High Elves, who we haven't seen at all today, and Vampire Coast, who we also have not seen at all today. Oh yeah, I was going to grab a drink. Well, shit. I'm going to pause it as soon as we get in the game. I need to grab a drink. Replay streams are great and stuff, but it also has no natural pauses where I can rest my voice and grab something. Alright. Pause button. BRB. Wait. We're back. We're back. Took a tinkle. Got a water. Let's do this shit. Lazy versus Renner. I've already forgotten who is who. We have a front line of Spearmen for the High Elves. Alethanar on the ground with his Mislead. He did not bring the Moonbow. We do have a Flamespire Phoenix, a Mage of Fire on a Sun Dragon with only Piercing Bolts of Burning. Very spicy stuff. Triple Lothern Seaguard with shields, and then triple White Lions of Crace with 1 Silvering Guard. I hope Great Book of Grudges is here to see in a semi-final game of a new player tournament we have Piercing Bolts of Burning as the only spell. No Burning Head here. None to be found. On the other side for the Vampire Coast, we have Animated Hulks and Depth Guard across the front line. Depth Guard with pole arms, too, in the backfield. A bunch of zombies, the Shade Wraith Gunners, Count Noctilus on foot with Pit of Shades, and then some Animated Hulks and Lamprey's Revenge. Meanwhile, the Flamespire Phoenix is trying to hit those Shade Wraith Gunners, but oh my god, the Mage of Fire is getting lit up by these handguns, and the Shade Wraith Gunners might even get her to rout with their Demonic Stability, not Demonic Stability, I'm so used to saying that now, with their Leadership debuff. A Piercing Bolts of Burning, Overcast tries to snipe out the Shade Wraith Gunners, and even when they were dodging, it took about a third of their HP, but the Mage of Fire is just dead. They're just toasted. And they're getting out of here, and they shatter before even dying. A brutal loss for the High Elves at the start of this game to lose their caster like that. Flamespire Phoenix, now the target of these handguns, already down to half HP, still trying to take out the Deck Gunners with some of those little tiny flaming poops. That thing is crumbling. We'll see if Noctilus has an indication to heck he feels like sparing for the Shade Wraith Gunners as the poor Flamespire Phoenix continues to try and dodge handguns around. The High Elf Archers are in range. It looks like they're firing onto Lamprey's Revenge, foe free. And the Shade Wraith Gunners will now be dead. They're at too low of a threshold, a health threshold, so they're not going to recover. They will just disintegrate. But the Flamespire Phoenix is going to shatter pretty soon here. So really, really rough start here for the High Elves. Alethanar is spending his time shooting at the Lamprey's Revenge. That is an excellent target for him since he has very high armor-piercing missile strength. He can really get through those guys and even start killing off models, which makes their healing a little bit harder for them. Lothern Seaguard also fighting, firing in, doing good. Lamprey's Revenge already down to half HP. Handgun's moving up, but without the Shade Wraith Gunners, your Lothern Seaguard are under a lot less threat, because Shade Wraith Gunners can kill any archers so quickly. Their like, shots are kind of weirdly explosive and do a ton of damage, but then also their leadership debuff just gets you to rout off. So now the Lothern Seaguard are a lot safer. It's not like there's dogs or anything to go run them down. Some animated Hulks are trying to get through the front line, but, I mean, Spearmen, White Lions are going to be just fine. And Noctil's throwing a Wraithstorm down onto a Lethanar, but that's the clone, so it is a wasted ability, and it did a little bit of friendly fire. The Lamprey's Revenge are also getting Gatling gunned down by all of these archers. And that's going to be a big piece lost for the side of the Vampire Coast. If the archers can then refocus onto the handgun mobs, they still have a shot in this game, because the High Elf Infantry can kill a lot of the enemy infantry. I mean, even though you have Depth Guard, High Elves are still a very impressive melee faction stats-wise. White Lions of Krace can trade pretty well. Silver and Guard can trade pretty well. Lamprey's Revenge getting Invocation to Heck, trying to keep them in this game, but it does not look like it's going to be enough. They're still slowly losing health despite their regen, despite the Invocation Heck, and now the Invocation has worn off, so they will just die outright. Silver and Guard joining the front line as well. Things are getting a little blobby, though. If Noctilus has that Pit of Shades off cooldown and has enough Winds of Magic for it, he could really punish this blob of units. The Lothern Seaguard are now moving on to the handgun, so I do like that targeting a lot. Really good target of priorities here. Can't let those handguns keep free firing. And Spearmen are taking out the Animated Hulks. The Animated Hulks are your third target with the archers. Then probably Depth Guard. So the High Elves holding steady, doing a great job keeping their archers online. A bit of a whoopsie in the early game. I mean, the Sun Dragon Phoenix dying is, I'm not going to sugarcoat that. I'm not going to pretend it was worth it, but like, shit happens. And since then, they've rallied pretty good. These White Lions of Krace, you can see what I'm talking about with the Depth Guard. They're trading very effectively into these Depth Guard. But Noctilus has pushed his way through. He is now disrupting some of the Lothern Seaguard. Another Spearman has gotten out onto the handguns. The other handguns now the focus of those archers, and soon the Vampire Coast will be down to just melee units and not even a lot of monstrous units. So the Wood Elves, yes. The High Elves could start to kite this out with a Lethanar and the Lothern Seaguard. The Lothern Seaguard are running out of ammo, so there's not a lot left to kite. So they're doing all right. They're doing all right. They really want their Suncaster back, and another decoy is out from a Lethanar. The High Elf front line is taking damage over all this time, though. Still have one healthy White Lion of Krace that is slapping down one of the Depth Guard. And that handgun mob is about out of the game. The Lothern Seaguard need to back up at this point, especially this one. This one ending up in melee combat is a big blunder from the High Elves. They'll need to back off and get a little bit more space between them. Looks like they're now shooting at Animated Hulks or the Depth Guard. Either is a good target. And healing cap is actually peeled for that Depth Guard. The other Depth Guard is starting to crumble, so its healing will get countered by its own crumbling, and it'll slowly fade away into dust. Lothern Seaguard, 3 volleys left on that one, 4 on the other. Lethanar still has 18 ammunition that he is really trying to fire into these Depth Guard. But losing a Lothern Seaguard is pretty brutal. It got out most of its ammo, so it's not like a giant loss, but it is still sad. Handgun mob still fading away in the background. Invocation to Heck keeping one of the Depth Guard quite alive. Crumbling taking the other one. Crumbling taking some of these pole arms mobs. And the other Depth Guard with pole arms is still alive, but quite injured. And the Animated Hulks getting into the backfield, but unfortunately for them, they're quite injured. I need to stop saying quite. Can't do it. I need to quit on quite. Anyway, my point is they're very injured. And charging into Lothern Seaguard, these are a hybrid spear unit with not much armor piercing, but hey, Animated Hulks don't have much armor. So they will get killed off by those Lothern Seaguard in the backfield. High Elves are about out of ammunition besides Lethanar, who's trying to run away from Count Noctilus. With 46 speed, Noctilus is actually just catching up to him because charge reasons, and I always hate it. And people can explain to me as much as they want about how that's a thing, but I still hate it. A lot of Dark Elves in Coast so far? What up, Shoxy? A lot of Dark Elves, yes. I don't remember a ton of Coast, but maybe I'm just forgetting them. Hey, Segos. Some archers are rallying and firing in from the sides. Depth Guard getting near their heal caps, and still this handgun mob is crumbling. Just slowly. Just very, very slowly. 2 zombies with pole arms don't really matter. They're going to crumble away into nothing. Animated Hulk doesn't really matter. So we have, for the Vampire Coast, we have an almost dead Depth Guard, an almost dead Depth Guard with pole arms. Half HP-ish, I guess. Noctilus is full HP, and a half-health pole arms mob. For the High Elves, we have a Lothern Seaguard with no ammo, but 3/4 HP. Lothern Seaguard with ammo, but almost dead. A bunch of Spearmen in Silver and Guard, and White Lions of Krace. And then Alethanar using his last misdirection, but he still has 12 ammunition and full health. This is anyone's game, especially with these Depth Guard going to die right now. Yeah, say goodbye to these Depth Guard. They do get into combat with the Lothern Sea Guard for a brief moment. That'll try and delay their suffering, but it is too much at this point for them. They will die off. Lothern Sea Guard killing those guys. And these Depth Guard with polearms are just about heal capped, which is a huge problem for the Vampire Coast. And Alethanar is getting artillery levels of damage into them. Lothern Sea Guard, when are they firing? When they're firing, do they have charge defense? I don't know that, but someone told me no very confidently, so I'll believe them. So I don't believe they do. Anyway, this Lothern Sea Guard still fighting against those polearms in melee and just beating them up. The Depth Guard falling away. And they're not heal capped quite yet, but it's coming in close because Alethanar is smoking those fools. A little bit of fast forwarding here as we just watch Depth Guard fade away. Invocation to heck onto them to officially heal cap them. And Alethanar charging up another of his terrifying, spooky shots. But he fires one up and away for no reason, just because Alethanar things. Now that last zombie pirate deckhand mob polearms is fading. The Depth Guard are heal capped, but not crumbling anymore. The Lothern Sea Guard have run out of ammunition, except for that one has one volley. And Alethanar looks like he's going for a side shot down the pike. Oh, big damage already from him. 5 volleys left. Noctilus is getting slapped down by White Lions of Krace and all these spearmen. But this is maybe too many units clumped up. I wonder if Noctilus has a Pit of Shades right now. That could do a lot of damage. Depth Guard now getting to crumbling, and that really matters because they don't have that regeneration anymore since they're heal capped. So now the crumbling will actually stack up. Lothern Sea Guard have one last volley they could throw at the Depth Guard. Probably don't want to save it for Noctilus because he's so hard to hit. You'll probably just friendly fire your own units. And Alethanar does exactly that, friendly firing his own units. Say goodbye to the Depth Guard, and Nocti is alone. I have a message from Coops. I'll answer it later. Piles fire down the line. The last Depth Guard is gone. And Alethanar with 2 shots left can still fire back onto Noctilus. And I don't know if Noctilus can kill all these High Elves, man. They have a lot of stats. Alethanar is going to walk up, maybe try and get one more little shot in. Fast forward quick here. Bop, 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 bop. And he also has good melee stats. 67-57. Noctilus is 45-60. Actually, yeah, I think the High Elves have got this. Invocation to heck onto Noctilus, try and heal him up, but Alethanar is more than happy to duel with you for a bit, Nocti. He's got way better melee stats than you, and your bonus versus large doesn't matter here. Your armor piercing also doesn't matter. Alethanar only has 40 armor. So he's fighting it out. Bum, bum, bum. White Lion's trying to grind. Alethanar getting decent damage in, but he keeps actually missing, which is strange. And the High Elves will have to feed one unit after another into him. Bum, 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 bum. Noctilus getting lower. I have no idea where his heal cap is. Oh my god, his heal cap's right there. Okay, Noctilus is screwed. He can't win this. Alethanar punishing him. Yeah, Alethanar is kicking his ass. Go, Aleth, go. Aleth still has his 2 shots if he really needs them. The White Lions of Krace still doing good damage. Silver and Guard still dealing good damage. Noctilus is nearing his heal cap. I haven't seen any Pit of Shades, so I have to wonder if he even has the Winds of Magic for Pit of Shades. I haven't seen a Pit of Shades all game, though, so I wonder where it is. But Noctilus is about to start crumbling. And that is looking like a slow grind to death. And the High Elves win. Lazy Frond, after losing his caster in Phoenix right away, brings it back. Alethanar didn't get nearly as much value as I think he deserved. He got a lot of damage out onto those Depth Guard and such. White Lions of Krace did very, very well. And Lothern Sea Guard did great. Really good target priority from them. For Renner, Noctilus 888 value. Excuse me. My voice is giving out on me. Like I did mention, I am sick, so it's not doing the best. Depth Guard did alright. Lampert's Revenge got gunned down. Deck Gunners also got murdered. Handgunners got so much value from fighting the Dragon and the Phoenix at the early game. Then Animated Hulks and Zombies just got whittled away by the High Elf Spearline. So Lazy Frond with his High Elves advances to the finals, which they should be playing now. We have a bit of a delay due to a drop. No worries. I'm just casting Swiss replays. Hi.
Hi, are you still streaming?
Yeah.
When are you done?
Soonish.
I was gonna say this to you, and I can also work if you want.
I'm okay.
Okay.
Boy, thank you.
Okay.
All right, Grace came down. So those are our finalists. Lazy versus Fodge. And in the meantime, we'll cast some more fun replays. So I don't want to cast anything that has our finalists in it, because we'll be seeing more of them. Oh, God. I don't know if I want to cast that one at all. That is just a blob. That is a blobby blob blob. But I will cast stuff with people who are knocked out. And then if I have to, I'll cast more stuff with our finalists. Fujin, you dropped. You're going to replay? Sounds lit, dude. I'll be here. I have 5 replays left to cast. So unless your game takes 5 replays worth of time, we're going to be just fine. Okay, what do we got? So, Frika versus Chakro, I believe this was. Skeleton Warrior frontline for Frika. King to catch the Scorpion Legion plus Tomb Guard with Halberds, and then more skeletons on the back line. We have some Nekar Horsemen. Chosen the Gods Shop to repose 2 Sepulchral Stalkers and more Skeleton Horsemen in their vanguard positions. On the other side for Chalk, I believe this was his replay. We have Razorgore Herds, a front line of Ungor Spearmen, a bunch of Minotaurs because they're just really great units, 4 Ungor Raiders, a Wilds caster with just Traderkin, and then the Groghoofs of Wolf's Run, ROR, Centaurs with Throwing Axes. All these replays are 29-second long. Easy. Beastmen bust straight through the front line, just force pathing their way through it, and they immediately get onto the Chosen of God, shutting them down. And that is a huge loss for the Tomb Kings this early into the game. Now, an Overcasted Traderkin also hits this frontline blob, doing good damage to Arkin and all of his pals, but it has consequences in the Great Bray Shaman of Wilds, who the Overcast damage plus already damage he received, he's very, very low. So both sides taking a lot of damage quite quickly. The Tomb Kings are demolishing this flank from the Beastmen. They should be able to push them off the field, but if that might be too many resources. Okay, there's a lot to talk about here. There's too much shit happening, so I'm going to pause it for a second. If you're ever in this situation as the Tomb Kings, you've won a flank. Your backline is already completely fucked. There's nothing to protect back here. These Sepulchral Stalkers are just about dead, and your Chosen of the Gods are dead. So if you win this, you have a free access to the enemy backline. The Skeleton Horsemen should both go over there and start dealing with Ungor Raiders, maybe even finish sniping out the caster. And then the Spears can hang out with the Sepulchral Stalkers, and both of those walk towards the Minotaurs. There, that's what I wanted to say, but this game's going at 500 miles an hour, so I was worried I didn't have time to say it. So we'll see what the Tomb Kings do, but that's what they should do, because they should shut down these archers and then force the Minotaurs to just grind with all their Skeleton Spears and Tomb Guards with Halberds. But those archers are the biggest problem for your stuff now. Now that your Sepulchral Stalkers and Chosen of the Gods are dead, that's kind of the situation you're stuck with. The Tomb Kings are definitely on the back foot. It's not a great situation for them. Some of the Skeleton Horsemen are moving in to deal with these Ungor Raiders. We like that. One of Arkin's summons is also disrupting Ungor Raiders, and a Spirit Leech is going to keep taxing down that Great Bray Shaman of Wilds. And Arkin is currently sitting in some Ungor Spears, but needs to get away from these Minotaurs, because once they get through his Skeleton Pals, he will take a lot of damage. On the top side, more Skeleton Horsemen pushing off the Razorgore Herds. Another proc of the Tomb King's healing ability. It looks like it is the tier 3, so that means the new Shopti summon is somewhere on the horizon. And it's tempting to put it on top of some archers. That's okay, but I know the archers are going to run away, and you already have way more mobility. I would rather put the Ushapti on top of some of the Minotaurs and at least get some damage there, or use it to peel Arkin, because Arkin's currently getting massacred by some Minotaurs with great weapons. That's going to be a way big problem for you. Now the Ushapti will just kind of chase these archers around, which you already have Cav to do that for you. Tomb Guards with Halberds moving up to try and support, but Arkin is still in a fight with the Minos. He does have to leave this place. It doesn't look like he knows he's in trouble yet, and both sides are trading Lord Sniping spells. Spirit Leech for Traderkin. Arkin will die from that, guaranteed. I think the British Chamber Wild will survive it just barely. Sporkle Stalkers shooting at the Grog Hooves of Wolf's Run. Minos are taking damage slowly over time. They're getting whittled down. The Tomb Kings have now lost their lord. They do have a free Ushapti summon out at full HP, so that is also holding up their bounce power by quite a bit. And the Beastman Caster is safe and sound. Arkin should have just stayed with Arkin should have stayed with Tomb Guard and Halberds. Yeah. Hindsight 2020. Anyway, Sporkle Stalkers getting attacked by the Grog Hooves of Wolf's Run, who are taking a lot of damage for this, but the Minos coming over should be able to help out. In the distance, our Ushapti summon friend only has 9 seconds left to live. We'll see the balance of power spike down after that. Skeleton Horsemen getting finished off by some Minos. Other Skeleton Warriors are limping after the Ungor Raiders, but they're mostly getting kited out. There go the Ushapti. And the Tomb King's front line is still winning. They are pushing off these Ungor Raiders. I just don't think it's going to be enough. Sporkle Stalkers trying to get some shots off onto the incoming Minos. And they get a decent little volley. That'll probably save them from those guys, but the other much healthier one will finish them off for sure. More Skeleton Horsemen were peeled away by these Minos. The archers are having a tough time finding a place to really stand and shoot. Skeleton Horsemen charge back into these Minos, doing a little bit of damage, but taking much more on the trade. Oh! Even without great weapons, Minotaurs are so good at killing horsemen and stuff. That's why they're quite meta in any roster that has them. Look at how quickly they massacred that Skeleton Horseman. My god. An overcasted Traderkin was thrown down somewhere, but it almost kills off the Great British Shaman of Wilds. And will his leadership even rally before he hits the side of the map? I wonder if he's going to take himself out here. But army losses might stop that mystery before it even begins. These things are looking dire for that balance of power. I mean, we are down to just Skeleton Warriors and then one Tomb Guard. The Tomb Guard is the only thing of value here for the Tomb Kings. -3 leadership. This guy might go all the way off the map. It doesn't look like he's rallying just yet. Can the Tomb Kings hold on until he goes off the map? Because then a bunch of the Beastmen will rout and maybe their balance power will get a bit of a juice. But there's the army losses. He's off the map. But it's not enough to stop the army losses. They already hit. GG's. All right, Mr. Chalk, good W, good W. Minotaur's getting good value. His caster did fine as well. Grog Hooves and the other throwing axes didn't get a lot of value, but they did fine. And then the archers did good. Archers did good. GG's. Freaka. Seppi Stalks did all right. The RORs both got massacred, though. Tomb Guard had a tough time finding a fight that they really wanted to be a part of. They just walked around at full HP for most of the game, unfortunately for them. King Kex Scorpion Legion did fine. Nekar Horseman and Skeleton Horseman did okay. Skeleton Warriors did okay. GG. You'll love to see it. Okay. So, to cast things not by our finalists, we have a finalist there, finalist there, no finalist there. So it's either this Bretonnia versus Norska or the Blob. Bretonnia versus Norska it is! I will avoid casting that Blob as long as I am able. This is Anthrax. We saw them earlier. Grail Knight, Royal Hippogriff Knight, Fey Enchantress, Enri, double Knight of the Realm, 4 archers, 1 with fire, 1 with poison, and then Men-at-Arms and Peasant Mobs. And Button Eyes Mark with our first Norska of the day, and our first Norska of quite a while. I haven't seen Norska in a tournament, even though I feel like nothing happened to them. They didn't get worse, it's just everyone stopped playing them, so something must be wrong. Anyway, we have Wulfric the Wanderer on horseback with Seafang. No caster. Mark! You need a caster! What are you doing? Alright, rip in peace, Caster. Then we have a front line of 5 Marauder Spearmen, some Marauders with great weapons, 2 Marauder Champions, 4 Jav Hunters, and then 2 Armored Skinwolves, and the ROR Frostworm, the Cold Voider. Overall, I do like the build, except for Nightcaster. Hippogriff Knight's going to take a fight with the Cold Voider. Did I cast you versus Professor Evil already? I don't know. Chalk, send me the replay. If I recognize it, I recognize it. Yeah, send me it, we'll see. Sorry, someone was asking me a tournament question, so... Not just the replay. I was responding to Chalk's thing in the YouTube chat, but then I was also reading a message about the tournament. What are people banning if not Brett, by the way? I don't know, man. I don't know. A Sea Fang from Wulfric rips through these Men-at-Arms, hitting 4 units, half-healthing 3 of them in the process. But the Cold Voider is having a bad time fighting these Hippogriff Knights. But actually, now that some Jav Throwers have joined the fight, this is going much better. And Enri might be overextending versus Wulfric. Wulfric does not have Hunter of Champions, but he does have a bunch of Spearman support and then even some Jav Thrower support. This could turn into a terrible fight for Bretonnia as the Hippogriff Knights are continuing to take damage against the Cold Voider, who's just holding like a fucking Chad. Meanwhile, Armored Skinwolves want to fight Knights of the Realm. They want to avoid fighting the Grail Knights. That is kind of their game. Tzeentch versus Lizardmen? Okay, hang on. I'll find it. Chalk. Oh, yep, you're round 4. I didn't save that. I got you, fam. I'm having some deja vu right now, though. What's wrong with Norska? No idea. As the deja vu sets in, Royal Hippogriff Knights still getting pushed off, and they're now... Oh, they're slowed down to 36 speed by his Frostbite and his Chilling Aura. They can't move, and they're just getting javelined to death. Oh my god! Down to 8 models already, very low, and the Cold Voider's going to chase them off. That, I've never seen a reversal like that, because that was going so poorly for the Cold Voider. Knights of the Realm down to 1/3 HP, and they're trying to charge into some Spearmen who will intercept them, trying to protect the Javelin Hunters. The Royal Hippogriff Knights will rally, so they can come back, get a regrowth from the Fey Enchantress. Meanwhile, Skinwolves are fighting Knights of the Realm, but these Grail Knights don't notice. These Grail Knights have to turn around and help out with the Armored Skinwolf fight, but it looks like the Bretonnian screen is over here. He's trying to rally these units, get Alberic. I always do that. It's Enri. Get Enri to finish off the Cold Voider, and now Bretonnia is falling back to their front line. And I like how 2 games in a row on this map have been Bretonnia versus Blank, and Blank just takes a fight with their knights and says, fuck it, I'll deal with it the other way. Armored Skinwolves falling back. The Cold Voider also falling back after taking half health off Enri. But here we go. Knights of the Realm and Grail Knights charging in. These spears can only stop so much as the Cold Voider gets a breath attack down. Actually doing pretty solid damage to these guys. That is going to be 2 Marauder Hunter Javelins shut down. Well, for now, Knights of the Realm don't look like they want to stick around, so they're going to back off and take Javelins in the butt as they go. I'm going to play it at ×2 speed because it's only like one thing going on, which I can definitely cover at ×2 speed. Grail Knights trying to cycle charge around, but they are taking jabs. Jabs, 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 jabs. Down to half HP for them. Breath attack from the Cold Voider onto Enri, and I wonder if the Cold Voider is going to join Wulfric in a 2v1 here. Royal Hippogriff Knights have definitely gotten a regrowth or 2 since we last checked in on them. Their heal cap is very much within sight, and now these other Knights of the Realm and Grail Knights are also taking damage. More jabs, 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 jabs. Hippogriff Knights want to finish what they started with the Cold Voider. They are going to take more jabs as they do so. And the Cold Voider's slow aura applies even if he hasn't melee attacked you in a while because he has 2 different things. So they're getting quite slowed down and still getting hit with more jabs. Jabs, 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 jabs. Cold Voider lands and says, catch me if you can, fuckers, in front of 2 Jav Throwers and an Armored Skinwolf. And the Royal Hippogriff Knights, nah. They gnaw out of there as Knights of the Realm try and chase down one of the Marauder Hunters with Javelins. Other Knights of the Realm and Grail Knights, Enri are grouping up for, imagine, an Earthblood probably cast right about there. And we go on. I don't know why Norska is not advancing to kill off these archers. They have a better front line. They could just kill them and get to the archers, but okay. Cold Voider gets landed on, but the Skinwolves counterattack, and the Hippogriff Knights immediately regret that and start to route off the map. They do not actually route in the end, though. They'll be okay. Jav Throwers back onto Enri, who did receive a little bit of healing somewhere. Peasants just watching eating popcorn? Yeah, I have no idea what the fuck. Armored Skinwolves get a fight with the Knights of the Realm on the side. We'll maybe rout them soon. But Bretonnia is just getting to heal up, so they're living their best life, and this is a bit of a mistake. Armored Skinwolves get caught out by the armor-piercing versions of the Cav, so Grail Knights can fight them, and the Royal Hippogriff Knights. Actually, the Armored Skinwolves fight their way out of that corner. What the fuck is happening? Advance! Take the fight somewhere. Don't just let Bretonnia retreat and heal. Alright, now they're starting to move up a little bit. Wulfric probably has his other Sea Fang that he could kill off, like, all of these Bretonian infantry. But the Fey Enchantress is healing the Royal Hippogriff Knights on the backfield. The Cold Voider is moving up with some of the Skin Wolves. Looks like they're going to take the fight to Henry. Get a decent charge there. The Royal Hippogriff Knights are back on the back line. Armored Skin Wolves trying to run over and deal with them. Wulfric does not have his other Sea Fang, so he must have used it at some point, as the Bretonian front line is already starting to crumble away a little bit. Can the Armored Skin Wolves do anything about these heal capped Royal Hippogriff Knights? They're almost heal capped, but like essentially. Really good charge over there. The Cold Voider is still vibing, still terror-outing off some stuff. Elsewhere, Marauder Hunters with Javelins trying to throw at, looks like Peasant Bowmen. Yes, they are targeting Peasant Bowmen, not the Knights of the Realm. Skin Wolves are on to the back line. The front line of Bretonnia is falling apart. And the Hippogriff Knights, 6 models, 2,400 HP. And now these Marauder Hunters with Javelins making a desperate last stand against the Knights of the Realm, getting really good damage on them on the way out, but they do not escape from this. Also, you need to remember, some of these Marauders are Marauder champions, so, like, there is some serious infantry quality in this Norsca build. Skin Wolves get peeled off by Henry. That will terror out them. I don't know if it'll turn to a natural route, because if it's not a natural route, then they should rally and honestly trade okay. The Cold Voider is finally going to die, though Javelins, like they did at the start of the game, are still chucking over in this direction to try and punish those Hippogriff Knights, but they are going to finish what they came for, damn it. And he doesn't break! He fights to the very end! The Cold Voider literally fought to the death as Skin Wolves are rolling through the Bretonian backline. Marauders are also just mucking up the place, stopping these peasants from firing, and so on and so forth. We still have a half-health Grail Knight, a bunch of almost dead Knights of the Realm, a full-health Fey Enchantress, half-health Henry, and a heal-capped, almost dead Royal Hippogriff Knight. For the Bretonians, their archer, this one archer is their only, like, infantry unit left of any kind. For Norsca, it's a metric shit ton of various kinds of Marauders, some Marauder Hunters too, who are ending up in melee, and that is a bit of a mistake. Wulfric is trying to hunt down the Fey Enchantress, and they still have a full health Skin Wolf that slams into the Peasant Bowmen and routs them off. All of Bretonnia is heading for the hills, and if Wulfric can finish this snipe onto the Fey Enchantress, this game is over. I do think just the sheer amount of Marauders should be able to drag down the Bretonians at this point. Marauder champions in deep. Some of their spearmen cousins might be routing, but the champions themselves are holding for now and just swinging at anything that'll stay in range to take damage from them. Norsca pulls ahead on the balance of power. Fey Enchantress chucks out her Chalice of Potions, getting good damage onto some Marauders that were coming up to say hi to her. Royal Hippogriff Knights have lost 500 HP since we last saw them. But Wulfric is having a very tough time actually killing the Fey Enchantress, even with infantry support and Skin Wolf support. And they are too blobbed up. This is way too many units in the same area. They're all getting Mortis Engine by the Fae, and they're not doing much more. They could be chasing down some of these peasant units. Meanwhile, Knights of the Realm, unbreakable and unstoppable. Just as I say that, one finally breaks. They are all doing just fine. They're now going to rear charge into our Marauder champion friends, and Wulfric is continuing to try and do his best to kill the Fey Enchantress. He's just not getting it done, and he's taking a lot of damage in the meantime. Archers are also offering some support in, and there's not a lot of help for Norsca nearby. The Marauder Hunters with those Javelins just stuck in melee for way too long is going to be a mistake that punishes them quite heavily. Hippogriff Knights fighting it out. Skin Wolves just swinging at anything they can is also a pretty good trade, but the Marauder champion's going to tear out here pretty soon. They are not ITP. Neither are the Skin Wolves. Neither is Wulfric, so everything here could tear out in a sudden reversal for Bretonnia. Skin Wolves are routing. Looks like they will actually naturally route too, so the Grail Knights should be able to chase them down pretty easily. Henry and the Fey Enchantress should be able to finish off Wulfric, and then the Marauder champions will get slowly ground to death. Meanwhile, Skin Wolves are trying to regenerate while chasing down other random Bretonian peasants. That is good. That is good. These Skin Wolves are back. Can they get in the fight before they rout? No, looks like they're going to just rout. No, never mind. They're fighting for now. And Grail Knights are after Wulfric, but Wulfric taking 55 years to try and kill the Fey Enchantress was horrible for Norsca. And the Blob, but, like, the Blob is just a mistake. Wulfric the Wanderer not being able to kill the Fey Enchantress after all that time is unlucky. She is on foot. I guess that is making her slightly more tanky. And Armored Skin Wolves getting a sandwich fight in on the Royal Hippogriff Knights. This should be the end of those fucking Hippogriff Knights. by now. Grail Knights charging through everything. Wulfric and Henri getting into a duel on the far side, but the Hippogriff Knights finally are going to rout. 750 HP on them. Some of the Skinwolves have to come back and peel for Wulfric. The Fey Enchantress is finally routing, but she still gets her Mortis effect while she is routing, so she's going to still take damage. She has no natural regen. I know it seems like she would, but she actually doesn't have any passive regen abilities whatsoever. There's still a 1/5 health Grail Knight. There's still a 1/3 health Henri, who's still trying to snipe out Wulfric the Wanderer. Fey Enchantress, 530 HP, and she hasn't taken damage in a little bit. Just as I say that, she starts to take some damage once again. Can she be killed off? Can Wulfric even survive? As so many Skinwolves are trying to kill the Fey Enchantress, but none of them are helping Wulfric out, which is another big mistake. The Marauder Champion should be fighting the Fey, and the Skinwolves need to be helping Wulfric out, but they do not. Wulfric gets sniped. He is going to die, and with that, the leadership of Norsca will spike down, and they will all rout. They'll probably lose from that point. And there goes Norsca from the map. GG in the favor of Bretonnia. The Fey Enchantress is going to rally. If she has any Winds of Magic, she'll just heal herself. If not, the Grail Knights can carry this from this point. Alright. We do have our finals. It was a wild game. It was a strange game. I was very confused at several points. But it was a fun game. Armored Skinwolves, really good value. Cold Voider, pretty solid value as well. Wulfric struggled to really do much of anything. And these Javs did great. Marauders also did fine. GG. I do have our final. Chalk asked me if I got this game yet. This looks strange. I'll think about casting it, but for now I'll cast the finals. For now I will cast the finals. Have fun. Bye. Bye. Alright, Grace is gonna go walk the dog. Let's find out who won this thing, shall we? The final game. Maybe the stream. I might cast the chalk one. I'll see how I feel after this. But the final game of the tournament is between Lazy Frond and Fodgstu. Nikai the Wanderer and Lord Skrulk. Not the two lords I expected to see. Okay. For the Lizardmen of Lazy Frond, you have two Ripperdactyl Riders, Cold One Riders, Nikai the Wanderer, a Skink Oracle with only Earthblood for a spell, a bunch of Saurus, which is very risky versus Skaven. They're quite good at clearing out infantry of high HP values. Then we have Skink Skirmishers, and that is it. Those have been deployed in the forest, but they are advancing. This is not forest camping. For anyone out there like, wait, I thought the rules said you can't camp in the forest. You can move through it. On the other side, for the Skaven, we do have two Skaven Slave Slingers, two Warplock Jezzails, one Rattling Gun, the Avalanche Mortars, three Wolf Rats with Poison, two Rat Ogres, and then a front line of Clan Rats and Skaven Slaves and Plague Monks with Lord Skrulk. So very similar, if not the same build, as he tends to take. Quick little fast forward as the sides find each other. But I think these Saurus Warriors are about to have the worst day of their entire lives, as purple globes are going to purple the shit out of them. Bop. Bop. And their spread out formation and high HP pools try and keep them safe, but the Avalanche Mortars just do way too much raw damage to those guys. Radiant Ash and their viewers just joined. Say hello. Oh, what up, dude? Hey, Ash. Anyway, Ripperdactyls trying to get a flank off are getting shot out of the sky by Jezzails, and a Rattling Gun is getting in position to shoot them down. Meanwhile, the Avalanche Mortars have already gotten rid of one Saurus team and are looking to get more. Fujita got me. I could have just deployed in the field. Ripperdactyls dive in. They do take a lot of damage from those Rattling Guns, and they immediately rout. But the other Ripperdactyls should be able to get in here and cause some fuss, cause some damage. Nikai's trying to move up. Saurus Warrior's also trying to move up. And the Skink Oracle has some decent shooting, but I wonder how much damage it's actually going to do versus the Avalanche Mortars. Rattling Guns tearing up the Ripperdactyls. They'll immediately kill the Avalanche Mortars, and then if they get microed fast enough, they should be able to get onto the Rattling Guns. Oh, they are going to get one volley off, and it hurts. Oh, it hurts. Okay, they will get pushed off as there's just too much firepower. Rip. Now, the reason you don't usually want Saurus versus Skaven is Saurus are a tanky unit, and they're slow. They will beat most front lines, but they'll do it slowly, and Skaven is a tempo game. It's all about speed, so you got to do everything quickly, and Saurus just don't do that. See, they're piling up here, but look how long it's even taking them to kill Skaven slaves. Right? So if you take infantry at all, you either got to go super cheap and just keep the Skaven busy, or you got to go shock damage. But unfortunately, Saurus are slow and grindy, so the clan rats are holding for quite a while. Nakai, however, is providing some good charge benefits in here with these Colden Riders. He's getting good work done. Plagmunks are trying to stop him. And Skink Skirmishers doing some decent damage to these Warplock Jezzails, trying to shut them down. Rattling Guns are able to still shoot. And we have Ripperdactyls returning from their escapades of routing. And they will get a rear charge here on the Warplock Jezzail. So this is Lizardman's opportunity to get back in the game. If we do shut down all the weapons teams, then the Saurus can grind through the rest of the build, no problem. Rod of Corruption hurting both these Saurus warriors. The Skrulk is continuing to fight, and the Skink Oracle is trying to fire at these Warplock Jezzails, continue to do his good damage, but the Colden Riders sweep in and take them out anyway. And the Rattling Guns are still up and alive. They peel off the Ripperdactyl Riders and should be able to kill those guys entirely. Ripperdactyl's going to go for the Avalanche Mortars and try and stop them from killing the Saurus. Colden Riders dive in with Nakai, shutting down the Rattling Guns. Good stuff, good stuff. I've really liked the Colden Riders and Nakai's play so far. Ripperdactyls reroute the Avalanche Mortars, and if they can hold on to their leadership, they can escort those guys off the map. Now, some dogs and Skink Skirmishers are having a bit of a staring contest. We'll see who notices they're there first. Nakai's doing great on the back line. Stop the Rattling Guns, and now he's going to stop the Warplock Jezzail, so I really, really like that. Good job, Nakai. Is it enough? As now the Saurus, freed up from the threat of those weapons teams, are able to just bump and grind with Plagmunks and Rat Ogres. They're going to do good damage there. Skrulk's trying to stop these other ones with a bit of stand your ground nonsense. And the Skaven are rallying in the far fringes of space. The Colden Riders and Nakai probably going to have to spend some time shutting those guys down once and for all. Can't let them come back. The Skink Oracle, I don't know what he's shooting at. Oh, he's shooting at Plagmunks. I suppose he probably can't see Skrulk. But maybe Skrulk's a better target anyway. I don't really know. They do have anti-large missiles. I wonder if it's better under Rat Ogres. But so far, I mean, he's shooting Plagmunks. It's a solid target. The last Skaven Slave Slinger is attacked by Nakai the Wanderer, who is punching through them. Balance of power is about 50-50. Rat Ogres are trying to rejoin the fight along with some Skaven Slaves, but Colden Riders are also coming back to aid Nakai. And so far, the weapons teams of the Skaven have not rallied, so the Colden Riders aren't needed out there. This Skaven Slave Slinger is pretty meh. It's whatever. You could go without it. The Colden Spear Riders are now joining in. Their impact damage should get some stuff a-routing. There we go. Gonna lose a Rat Ogre, gonna lose a Skaven Slave Slinger in just a second here. Nakai does not cause terror, causes fear. And dogs do get a rear charge on the Saurus, but Saurus, they're thick lads. They're not breaking just yet, despite that rear charge. They are getting close to it. Another Rod of Corruption from Skrulk, though, is gonna push off those guys. There are a lot of summons out. Now the Skink Oracle gets a free shot onto Skrulk and starts poking him down a little bit. And that's what I was worried about. Jezzails and Rattling Guns are back, and the Colden Riders are going to take a lot of damage for letting them come back. Ooh, actually everybody's focusing on the Nakai, which is going to allow the Colden Riders to charge through these Plagmunks. It looks like maybe these dogs can rout off the Colden Riders. But if the Colden Riders can actually beat the dogs and get to the Jezzails, then that could be a huge change for the Skaven. And Nakai can body Skrulk. He has 60 melee attack. And the Skink Oracle is really poking him down, but he's all out of shots now. And Skrulk's nice and low. Colden Rider is going to get back on the Warplock Jezzails. I like that a lot. The Lizardmen are really scrapping back into this game. Much love to them. This is quite worthy of our finals. This is not a one-sided stomp, no matter how this game goes at this point. Saurus have taken a lot of damage, but they are rallying, and the only spell we brought is Earthblood, so that slow accumulation of value from the Earthblood caster is going to be fine. Nakai is surrounded by stuff, but he's starting to shatter some things off. Maybe he can hold on. Maybe he can do it. Skink Oracle is wrapped up in a Clan Rat summon. Can he force his way through it? Earthblood is out for Nakai. And more Saurus are rejoining the fight. And these Colden Riders have been doing the work of the gods. 1,700 value for them. And I definitely agree. Skaven Slave Slingers looks like they're going to be ignored for now as the Colden Riders are coming over. It looks like they want a rear charge with Nakai in this big pile. Skrulk's getting danger low. If Nakai can focus onto him, and then the Cold Riders can get a rear charge onto these Plague Monks, that could be huge. I honestly think you need to ignore the Skaven Slave Slingers at this point, because leaving Nakai and these Plague Monks could get very dicey very quickly. Skrulk is about to terror out. He is routing now. Bounce Power's turned against the Skaven. There's no armor-piercing missiles for them left, so they do have to just kill Nakai and the Skink Oracle with Earthblood spammed out to heal them up. They have to do it au natural. That is a Clan Rat summon, so it's not even real. The Golden Riders are charging straight into the Skaven Slave Slingers, and it looks like the Plague Monks are getting taken out by the single entities themselves. Skrulk is still trying to fight it out. Rod of Corruption is thrown down, but it's not in range to hit the Golden Riders. Skrulk throws down yet another summon. He does not have any Liber Rebonicus. That was his last summon. That was his last Rod of Corruption. Bounce Power tips against the Skaven, and that is going to be GG as Nakai and the Cold One Riders carry it to victory for Lazy. Skink Oracle also getting insane value. Nakai, not a lot of value, but he was very important. Like, his charge animations got a lot of shock damage down, and he was just a really good holding piece. Ripperdactyl sacrificed their lives, but they took out the weapons teams. I like that. Saurus, while not my favorite choice in this matchup, I mean, they held for long enough, as long as the Cold One Riders shut down all the ranged, which they did. For Fudge, Skrulk, 738 value. Not a ton, but he was a nice little Caster Lord. He did Caster Lord things. Plague Monks did okay, but not great. Rat Ogres got shut down. So did Wolf Rats. Slingers did alright. Rattling Guns almost paid for themselves. Giselles, mixed value. The Avalanche Mortars did okay. Nice job to Lazy Frond. Yeah, Lazy Frond, we did have... It's up to you. So I'll propose this to you, and then I'll type to you in DMs, but after this next game, I gotta go to work. So Lazy Frond, the winner of the tournament gets a role called the Bone Ripper role, which just identifies you as not a new player anymore. No, I'm not trying to be a dick here. I'm just being honest. So you take this however you want to. You did not smash this tournament. I did notice a couple mistakes. Some of your builds weren't my favorite, and you had some micro slip-ups here and there. So I don't think you're hard smurfing, is where I'm getting to with that. And I did recently offer anybody with the Bone Ripper role to go back to being a Rat Ogre to continue to participate in new player tournaments, because we did have a problem with people win a single new player tournament, and then they can't play in that anymore, so then they get stuck with just super sweaty tryhards, and they get obliterated, and they get discouraged, and they stop playing. So, you can have the role if you think you're not a new player anymore, but since this was your first tournament, and I saw some places you could still improve, I would not put the veto on you and say, no, this guy is not a new player anymore. So you let me know in DMs if you want the role, or if you want to play in one or two more new player tournaments to really find your space before I chuck you in with the big guys. If you win another tournament, then I'll give you the role whether you want it or not. But think about that and let me know. But if you do take the Bone Ripper role, you can no longer play in new player tournaments. Okay. And, you know, that now the start of that makes sense, where you're like, why are you randomly flaming this guy? If he was playing perfectly and just smashing kids, I wouldn't offer him to keep the fucking role. I'd be like, yeah, get out of the new player tournaments, you're done. But I'll let him think on that. And here we go. Chalk versus Professor Evil. He did want me to cast this, and I'm feeling good, so I'll cast it. But our finals is over. Lazy Frond won the tournament. Congratulations to them. This was the first tournament of theirs I got to cast. As far as I know, it's the first tournament of mine that they played in. Or did I see you last tournament? I don't remember. But you haven't been around for long. I was not offered this when I won my new player tourneys. Patrick, I don't know if you want to be DDoSed, because I know who you are in Discord. That's because you are what I just talked about. You were clearly, like, smashing people and a step, not just a step above, you were multiple steps above new players. And for the health of, like, the tournaments, I wasn't going to be like, hey, man, yeah, just keep slamming kids. Because when you and I play, Patrick, we trade about 50-50, and I am not a new player, so you don't belong in the new player tournaments. Oh, to delay casting the blob. Well, we're here. If this is the last replay I'll cast today, then I do have to go to work, so this is just a little bit of fun. All right. For Chalk Crow on Tzeentch. We have Chaos Source Lord of Tzeentch with only blue fire. We do have 2 Chaos Knights of Tzeentch. Soul Grinder, 2 Chaos Warriors with Halberds, 2 Pink Horrors, 1 Blue Horror, the Chromatic Abominations, and then 5 Marauder Spearmen of Tzeentch. On the other side, for the Lizardmen of whoever you're fighting, and I honestly forgot, it's Professor Evil. Gotcha. We have Saurus Warriors for a frontline, nice and stalwart. The Shredder of Lustria, a Life Slan, some Crocsagores, and a Rev Crystal. So this is much more meta of the Lizardmen. We've seen a lot of it in the past couple months. A lot of healing, a big monster, and a sturdy frontline. Solid, pretty easy way to get some good value in a game. Blood Statue of Spite onto Chaos Knights is a good target for that. But the Lizardmen do have to advance. Again, not a rules thing, just like a value thing, because the Soul Grinder and Pink and Blue Horrors are going to have a field day shooting at you, so you might as well get in there and start fighting. Your Saurus will body Marauders too, so you're not benefiting from delaying this game out. You're just going to want to get in there. Chalk had a bit of a whoopsie. Some Chaos Knights are taking way too much free damage in a fight with some Saurus, and now they're starting to get onto Crocsagores. More Snipies coming for the Slan with that blue fire of Tzeentch, and now he is on fire. So he's not going to get as much healing from that Earthblood as he otherwise might. And he might even need a Rev Crystal charge to stay in this game. A Regrowth is already out on the Shredder of Lustria, who is charging straight into Pink Horrors. Now, he'll be great at killing off demonic units. I honestly want him to go straight for the Soul Grinder. But his -8 leadership aura is not something you can immune to psychology with their demonic trait. So they are all taking that -8 leadership. He's pretty good at getting stuff to demonic instability crumble. Crocsagores and such fighting. The bound Slan Banishment is coming through on these Chaos Warriors of Tzeentch, and Saurus are slowly poking away at them. But speaking of slowly poking away, a Rev Crystal is trying to keep the Slan Mage Priest of life in this game. But that Soul Grinder is taking its day out on him, and the Shredder really needs to do something about it. But he's kind of busy. He's wrapped up in a whole bunch of things. What up, It's Current Year? Rev Crystal is also going back for some disruption. I like this a lot. Just stop them from shooting, disrupt their formation, buy your Slan a little bit of time. Chaos Knights will catch him. Chaos Knights won't do nearly as much damage as range stuff versus Slans. Slans have weird melee hitboxes, so he'll be okay. He can regrowth himself or Earthblood himself soon, but stopping the range is very, very important. And the Shredder is just drifting through this backline, stopping everything from firing for a while. Now the Slan is getting surrounded, needs some Saurus or Crocsagore support. Cold-blooded keeps the Crocsagores in the fight, and there's an Earthblood while the Slan is not on fire, so he will get his full healing value. And the Soul Grinder has gotten away. I think he just had Fire at Will on. He accidentally threw some shots at the Saurus Warriors that he definitely wanted to do that. What's up, Current Year? You joined for the last game of the day, brother. We have 94 watching a new player tournament, which is huge for us. Normally our new player tournaments get like 60% of the views as my normal streams, so happy to have all of you who are here. If you like multiplayer Warhammer content, we got you. Slans have Missile and Magic Resist. They're actually best sniped in melee. In this specific setup, non-anti-large, non-armor-piercing Chaos Knights, I would rather the Pink Horrors and the Soul Grinder continue to kill the Slan, which Chalk Crow has been doing a great job focusing down the Slan. Now an Earthblood and a Rev Crystal trying to bail him out, as Professor Evil has gotten a bunch of Saurus Spears nearby, so they're getting good trades. But look at that blue fire damage coming in. The Slan is going down soon. And have the Lizardmen gotten enough value in the meantime? The Soul Grinder is still full HP, using all of his ammo. So it does not look like the Shredder's been able to tag him at all. And yeah, Slan's routing off 100 HP. Doubt he's coming back, as the Soul Grinder will probably finish him off. Or maybe the Chaos Knights will. Soul Grinder's now attacking the Shredder of Lustria, which is fine. The Radar Attorneys have been bangers the past few weeks. Yeah, this is where you come for non-meta stuff. New players always have really, like, off-the-walls builds. Because some, like, you get a mix of new players where they either just don't know what the meta is and are going off of best guess, or you have people that just haven't played a ton of tournaments, so they're not super sweaty and try hard yet. They will be. But then they're like, I don't know, I just like these units, so I'm going to take them because it's fun. But yeah, you get some pretty exciting stuff. Shredder plus all of these Crocsagores and Saurus are pushing around Marauders with Spears. The entire front line of Tzeentch, besides this Chaos Warrior Halberd, is retreating. And now the Soul Grinder is out of ammunition. The Rev Crystal is the last source of healing, and it has a lot of healing left to give. It can't heal itself, however, so it is on a bit of a timer, as I'm sure blue fires from the caster and Pink Horrors are just going to keep shooting at it, whittling it down. But the Shredder's trying to get his healing while he can. He's still on fire, so he was taking half healing from that for a bit. And he's still trying to chase down the Soul Grinder. But Chakra's doing a good job with his 3 horrors. He's kept them all very healthy into the late game. There have been a lot of very meta games. Yeah, but still some weird takes on the meta games. Kroxigors continue to chase these guys, but while he is chasing them, Chalk is punishing with the Soul Grinder, charging back in, getting its barriers back when he needs to. And the pink horrors are still getting away. Just chilling. Rev Crystal is still taking a lot of damage, but those Saurus are a problem. And the Shredder is also a problem. Chromatic Abominations still have a good amount of ammunition. So do the pink horrors, for the most part. But Tzeentch is running out of things to protect them with. These Chaos Knights have taken a lot of damage over the course of the game. This one's almost dead entirely. And there goes the Tzeentch caster. He's desperately trying to kill that Bastiladon before it can get off any more charges for the Shredder. It still has 4 left in the game if it's not routed here and now. It's getting super close to routing, but the Shredder is nearby, and he is chain routing everything over here. The Knights are running, and that means the Marauders will be too soon. But can this caster snipe out the Rev Crystal? His leadership is barely holding. The Bastiladon, not Bastiladon, the Shredder Bluster needs to come over here, but he does not. He leaves the Bastiladon to its own devices, and it does get routed off. He did get one last big heal in, though. Saurus are getting pulled apart. Tzeentch is kiting out quite a bit. Soul Grinder helps rout off the Kroxigors. Without the Rev Crystal, unless it's allowed to rally in the midfield, which it actually is getting to safety slowly here. But without the Rev Crystal, then the Lizards are doomed. If the Rev Crystal gets to stay online and heal up the Shredder, then the Lizards could for sure win this. Tzeentch caster is back in it, though. Not about to allow that Rev Crystal back in the game, and I will ×2 it as we are just kind of Benny Hilling for a bit. Saurus Warriors trying to catch the horrors who are kiting about. Soul Grinder maybe going to chase down the Rev Crystal. Saurus Warriors got a good fight with the Chromatic Abominations, getting good damage over there, getting good damage fighting Marauder Spears, but it's mostly still the Shredder running around doing stuff. Balance of Power is still dead even 9 minutes into this game. Pink Horrors running out of ammo to decide to just fight these Saurus in the end. And the Saurus are proving to be very stalwart allies of the Shredder. Shredder terror outs off these Halberds, and he will get these blue Horrors to Demonic Instability Crumble if he even gets near them. For sure. There he is. He is in 18 leadership for them, which is actually way more than I expected. So never mind. Maybe they will hold on for just a little bit. Pink Horrors still firing, but there's the Demonic Instability crumbling for the other Pink Horrors. And there's the Demonic Instability for the Chromatic Abominations. Tzeentch is quickly running out of range. But I wonder how many blue fires they still have. Oof. Those do a lot of damage to the Shredder, too. Saurus walking menacingly at the Pink Horrors. There's not a lot left to stop them. These are very pathetic Marauders with spears. Can the Shredder even be stopped? Tzeentch's balance of power is way artificially inflated by a full health Chaos Sorcerer Lord, who we all know wouldn't last a second in melee with the Shredder. Chaos Knights routed off yet again, but there is a full health Soul Grinder that the bounce power undervalues because he's out of ammunition. So actually maybe there's a little bit something to it. Saurus Warriors on this side are routed off. The Shredder continues to try and find a fight for a bit, chasing around these Chaos Knights. He's going to rout them off and chase them into the trees, maybe? Nah, he's going for the Pink Horrors. He'll rout them pretty quickly, but they got almost all of their ammo out, which is huge. And then they do get Demonic Instability crumbled soon. Oh my god, they lived. Soul Grinder is in. Shredder still has 6,000 HP, though, so his percent HP is low, but his overall HP is quite high. Really nice blue fire, though. Takes almost 800 damage off of him. The Shredder's trying to fight it out. I think these Marauders are going to terror out as soon as they get close, though. They haven't been terror outed for a while. There go the Knights. There go the Marauders. Shredder's leadership is dipping, but he's winning the fights. Can he hold on? He's trying to fight back against the Soul Grinder, but the Pink Horrors are even shooting him in the back, which lowers his leadership even further, and, of course, does a little bit of poke damage onto him. The Shredder is continuing to fight it out. The Saurus are nowhere to be found. They have abandoned him at last. 3,000 HP. Army losses is hitting. He took half health off the Soul Grinder, but it was not enough to save his life. Mr. Chalk. 2,000 value on the Tzeentch caster, 2,300 on the Soul Grinder. Chaos Knights of Tzeentch did fine. Halberds did fine. Pink and Blue Horrors did fantastically. And the Marauders of Spears mostly just died. For Professor Evil, you've really made Chalk work to kill that Slann. Really, really made him sweat for it. The Shredder did great. Still with Rev Crystal did great. Kroxigor struggled a bit, and then the Saurus frontline just ground through Tzeentch as much as they could, so it was overall a very good game. GG's. GG's. Alright, looking at these. This one has some of our tournament finalists in it. Faj. I think we've cast enough of his games for now. That is a pretty fun Lizardman build, I'll give you that, but I am weary and I do have to go to work here, so I'm going to skip that one. Then there's a Blob I just don't want to cast. I just don't want to cast 2 Chosen and then a Severed Claw, grinding against Slaanesh. If you want spoilers, Qualiduck won that one, so Slaanesh did not break the Blob. And then this one has another of our tournament finalists versus Anthrax. We cast a lot of Anthrax's Bretonia today, and we also cast a good amount of Lizardmen, so I'm also going to pass. Ugh. All right. Good stream, everybody. 3 hours long. I'm sick. I'm tired. I have to go back to work. So I hope you enjoyed. Congratulations yet again to Lazy. Lazy sent me a message, but I'll check it later. I have to go. Hopefully everybody had a good time. If you are interested in joining tournaments like this, if you are one of the 93 viewers hanging around right now, we do host one of these tournaments every single week, but we switch off between the weeks between an NA time zone friendly, so like 7:30 at night, my time, or ones like today, EU time zone friendly, so more noon, my time. So no matter what time zone you're in, if you keep an eye on our Discord, if you keep an eye on Total Tavern, the tournaments will always be posted there, right? Tomorrow, I might have a stream. I might be just playing some games. We'll see. I have PTO from work, but I have to go see my brother, so it depends on if I get some stuff done. Friday, we have a Faction Face-Off cast, which is another thing as people are departing. Faction Face-Off is another thing people might want to get involved in if you want to play multiplayer games, but you don't know if you have the time to just sit in a tournament. I do have events like this where I get people together with thematic matchups, if you didn't know this. So we have the Undead versus the Frozen North. So it's like Norska, Kislev, the Northern Dwarves are up there, Krakadrak, and then we also have Volkmar the Grim, because the Empire's up there too. So they're fighting the Undead. These games are scheduled over the course of a couple weeks. Play them as you can. And they're for fun. You know, we have people pre-declare their lords, and I, behind the scenes, ask that people don't take, like, the super sweaty meta lords sometimes. Like, I don't know. The Empire, I would probably ask they don't bring Karl Franz, right? So, Kislev, I would ask they don't take Mother Ostankia, and they didn't. So things like that. Get some off-meta stuff, more thematic matchups. It's fun. It's chill. So think about that. Think about signing up. I'll post signups for this one, because we're casting this Friday, and then I'll post signups for the next one in January. Also coming up in January, if you've not been paying attention to my Discord, we will be having a faction war, a winter faction war in January. Vermin League playoffs in February, and then some form of super big hype tournament with like an $1,000 prize pool somewhere in there. Post Thrones of Decay, with the caveat that Thrones of Decay doesn't suck. If Thrones of Decay sucks ass, then we'll put off the tournament until it doesn't suck ass. But we're not just going to be like, April 2nd, Thrones of Decay is out. Launch the tournament. What's that? Nurgle, Dwarf, and Empire DLC wasn't a fun meta? Well, shit sucks. We're in a giant tournament now. But we'll read the room. So 2024 is going to be lit. If you're just joining the scene now, you joined at a great time. Hang around. If you're thinking about leaving the scene, stop that shit. Hang around. Play in the fun events we have coming up for you. And if you're going to leave anyway, then fuck you. I hope you have a great life. All right. Let's look for another Total War streamer to pass you on to. Not Sweaty sees Arkan and Noctilus. We do our best. But, like, if Tzeentch was in it, I'd be like, please don't pick Kairos. Okay. Sorry. I was thinking. I gotta go find a Warhammer 3 stream, if they even exist. Usually when I check the live stream, it's just me out there. Joe's birthday... Warhammer 40k Battle Report, that's not correct. I'm looking for Warhammer 3 live streams. And we're getting nothing! Okay, there's some guy with 2 viewers. There's some guy with 2 viewers playing a Skaven campaign. Raid his ass. Raid his ass! Okay. Bye. Bye. Good way to end the stream, Human Boy, just doing a really fucking annoying voice. Hey, thanks for hanging around, guys! I'm just gonna be super annoying. Whatever.